Okay, here we are once again with another session of Survivors of Tarnstead. We're going to start in our usual manner, if slightly altered thanks to an unfortunate death last week. First up, we have.
Oh my god, you didn't even use the overlay I gave you. I just saw what you did.
First up, we have Blackheart as
Keurig Marsh.
Kronos
So
as
angry.
RG Thal.
Hadden as.
As no longer appearing.
Just say hi, Hadden.
Really.
Hi!
Marcus as
Corvus had alas.
Semi as.
Very indignant. I
To-
mean, gift program.
I was just gonna keep rolling,
Same.
but sure. Tobias as.
I'm gonna kill me someone tonight. Oh, Cassiopeia steel shot.
And me, Ali, as your friendly DM. Who would like to give a recap of last week's cheery session?
The fucking red X over Thal.
The ghost has to.
That's not
The
even.
ghost has to.
Beautiful. Yeah, the dead man. Well, he needs fucking inspiration on this new character.
Yeah.
Oh,
Trying
I
to
thought
get-
I was
trying to
only
get
going to
me
be
not
able to
a
get inspiration on Thaldir this way. All right. Well,
I didn't recap last week, so screw you.
if you would like, I will give the recap.
Go for it.
All right. So last week, we, as in the past week, accidentally started by recapping some of the previous week, and then continued on with a proper session, and we included a marvelous discussion about what we plan to do to address our search for Father Aurel, which was limited to essentially we're going to go to church, and then we'll kind of figure out some other stuff we're going to do after that. There was a lot of discussion as we realized that Albrecht was in fact adopted by Thaldir, and Thaldad was embarrassed by this and spent a lot of time with Klopp. Carrick offered to help out the tavern owner, but was declined. The party also considered doing various other things, some shopping, maybe potentially meeting with certain people. And after having some breakfast and hanging around for a while, we all went to church. It was wonderful. Up until the moment where the priest started ranting about how we were defiling their church, and was very unhappy to see us, and no, we're not going to ruin it this time, and was very specifically angry at Thaldir, and ended up firing bolts of some attack that hit Albrecht and also hit Thaldir, who was trying to protect Albrecht. RG rushed up to try and beat him, but the priest, definitely Aurel pretending to be someone else, exploded in flame and disappeared. Thaldir had attempted to get his attention, but again, priest left. As the boy was evidently dying, despite the valiant efforts of Corvus and of Gifton, who had helped the gathered people to run away and scatter, Thaldir ended up calling to the gods, which did not appear to work, and then quietly called to Raziel and made a deal, or rather offered to make a deal, and was given a blade by Raziel. He was then plunged a blade into his heart and killed himself so that he may speak with the Reaper who was trying to take away Albrecht. Congratulations, it was the Angel of Amor that we knew from earlier. and he was able to convince her to let Albrecht go and gave the blade over to the angel before coming with her into the afterlife. In the living world, everybody came to the realization that Albrecht was now alive, but Thaldir was now dead. Carrick went to investigate the chambers that were of that priest who we saw. Turns out he'd been used to be a disguise for Aurel. And Cassie got very angry and confrontational with some guards who had arrived. RG helped calm the situation down to an extent so that the party could leave. Tholdir and Albrecht's unconscious body were both taken back to the tavern by Corvus and with assistance from some random person. And I'll be honest, that's all I'm really remembering. I apologize if I missed something.
That's good enough for me.
Pretty much it, yeah.
Yep. Right. Well done. Take your inspiration for Faldir. I'm sorry. I'm sure he'll make good use of it.
Doing it in the afterlife.
Okay. All right. I believe the very last moments of the last session were with our dear Cassiopeia, who had sat down with some tea and had said,
Raziel, we need to talk.
you sit there for a few long moments, waiting for an appearance, waiting for some sign, and there is nothing.
She's going to sit there and sip her tea.
Okay. No repeats, just gonna stay there?
Yep.
Okay.
I figure he heard... It's Raziel. He heard the first time. He just is not showing up because out of character we know he's busy with other things.
Out of character, he also might not like you the best.
Anyone else trying
That
to
is
do
really
something
good.
in this immediate
I'm
aftermath?
trying to wave down the tavern keeper while I
Corvus.
was...
Yeah.
He is staring at the body of Faldir.
I need this figured out for the night. We need to handle and find out where to put this body. He just got killed, and we're working with... This is 5 platinum?
5
Will that cover the night?
He's gonna look at that platinum, and then he's gonna look over at Faldir again and go,
But my lord was just killed in the Temple of Talon. You understand that I need to make arrangements? And I'm having a very emotional time right now, and I just don't want anybody else other than a priest or a guard in here.
and this is not because of any ill deeds on your part.
I
Well,
promise
the priest
you.
murdered him.
I promise you it was from no ill deeds on our part. If it is, feel free to bring a guardsman right back in here, and you can keep the money.
He nods slowly, and he takes the money and pockets it and goes, tavern's yours for the night.
Are there any Illan priests in town? He was an Illan worshipper.
Illan priest said, none that I know of. I mean, there may be, but...
She looks really upset and nods. Thank you. Like I said, just keep it clear for the night. I mean, we'll just... The guards will be here soon. Thank you. I'm sorry. And she just looks like she's just like barely holding it together.
Well, frankly, you could ransack this place and you've already paid for it, so here. And he's gonna hand you what looks to be a spare key.
Well, he's gonna set that on the table.
Well, he's gonna set it on the counter.
Yeah.
And
I'm never gonna reach that. Yeah.
help yourselves to
all.
food. Help yourselves to drink. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.
And he's actually gonna head on out.
I took that 5 plat out of the party funds. Sorry, guys.
Perfectly simple.
Okay. Yeah, he leaves you alone.
That is, go ahead, Corvus. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna interrupt anymore.
So Corvus is standing outside in front of the stable doors of Wow.
You see the tavern keeper come out, giving you a nod as he walks down the street.
We'll give a very slow nod as well. Klopp, are you in there?
There is a snort in reply.
I'm not sure how this will best be understood by you, but I want to tell you something, if you don't mind. And he will approach sort of. Is it like one of those half stable doors? It's
Yeah.
gated door.
It's yeah.
So he's going to approach the half stable door and look in.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah, Klopp's just sort of watching you as he tends to.
You were, as much as any one of us, part of this family to Thaldir. He understood that he didn't need to question what you were or fear you for what you were. And I am sorry for my initial reaction towards you. I'm also sorry for this. Albric had gotten killed in the temple. Gifton and I could do nothing. But Thaldir understood what he needed to do and sacrificed himself to save the boy. Thaldir Forgehammer dead. He is.
As you say that, Klopp has subtle movement. He, as horses do, you know, you can see twitches of muscle, you can see flicking a tail, but his entire body goes still for a moment. Not the slightest fleck of movement, not the tiniest twitch, not even the rise or fall of his chest.
Just. You're cutting out a lot, Allie. Is that me or
am
you?
I cutting out for
I think
people?
that's just you.
That just sounds like
Do we want to change the Discord server for him really
Yep,
quick?
1 second. However, if it's just him, I doubt it's the Discord server. As
I'm not doing anything. Should
no. Feels like this happens each week.
I don't know.
I think it does. It's weird.
Right.
Um,
Yes, basically completely unmoving Klopp. Not even the slightest muscle movements or breathing. And
Corvus. Yeah, go ahead.
no, what are you doing?
Corvus will reach up to the the stalled latch, not opening it yet, and look up to Klopp.
As you reach out for it, Klopp's form suddenly separates. The impression of a horse lost as he becomes a lashing of tentacles, limbs, teeth, and blades, whirling about in a stall, and they surge towards you.
Okay.
So what's your new level 1 character?
What are you gonna do?
Please tell me you scream or something.
You're behind the stall. You could duck and cover.
I duck and cover.
Okay.
And he's going to, as he does, he's going to yell up into the air at Klopp or whatever. I think you should see him at least. I think he may want that. You don't have to do this.
Even as you're talking, you see Klopp's form emerging from the stable door over you, surging over it and over you, landing in the stables, its momentum carrying it up against the stable wall briefly before it turns and skitters out of the stables onto the street.
Could we hear this shit happening inside?
You can hear a lot of clatter, and you hear sort of the muffled yelling from outside.
Okay, Arju's gonna. At this point, I figure she probably putting it down, heading to the door.
As you head towards the door, you can also hear what sounds like screams from outside of people passing by as the door suddenly bursts open. This large tentacled form with lashing blades surging in.
Corvus is running towards tavern as
He
well.
just surged into the room I'm in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in the main room, so yeah.
Can I do a roll to see if I know that's Clop?
I wouldn't even make you guys roll, but yeah, let's do it. Advantage.
Alright, what kind
I've
of roll?
seen this before.
Just a perception check.
No, that's my worst. Alright.
It's low DC, but you still managed to fail it, Gifton, somehow.
I'm not gonna roll it because I'm upstairs.
It would be low DC if it was a
Archer's actually
5.
Archer's just gonna yell and go, Clop, what the fuck?
Klopp seems to ignore you. His form.
I'm protecting Thaldir's body.
How are you doing that, Sammy?
Attempting to body block between whatever
Okay.
that is.
The form rushes towards the table, and you can see a few separate tentacles sort of lashing onto each corner of the table as the body hefts itself up above Faldir's corpse.
I won't let you take him.
And you can see this thing towering above you, and you see strange little organs starting to appear just above Faldir, and you can feel and hear this deep inhalation. And it seems to just be shifting its body above Faldir as if trying to take some sort of scent in.
This is Clop?
Clop. I mean, we knew he wasn't a horse.
Corvus is at the door, I guess at this point.
Archie's just gonna look right at him and just really play. It's like, what the fuck did you...
I'm sorry, Clop. I tried really hard.
For the briefest moment, a tentacle that does not have any blade nor claw on it seeps down from Klopp's form, and it just sort of nudges against you in a rather familiar way, even if the form's not the same. That ever so slight show of affection, before the form suddenly flings itself off the table, and it's heading right back towards you, Corvus.
So
Clop, are you okay? Are you sick? Is it more the poison?
And, well, it's going to barrel through you, Corvus. Give me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Yep, I would not, because he's bracing up against the door because of his leg, so...
Oh, you're bracing? Strength saving throw, please.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, the wrong word.
Okay, you get bowled over onto your ass.
Is he
Alright.
going outside?
He's going back outside.
I'm
mean,
going
he was
to
outside
suddenly
before.
yell, Clop, please, no, don't go out there like that, please!
And Corvus takes 5 points of slashing damage just as a byproduct.
Alright.
As you see Klopp streaming outside and instantly going across the street and starting to clamber around the side of a building into an alleyway.
Archie's taking off after him.
Okay.
It's like, Clop, come on, get back here. We're gonna get him, but you can't do this.
Alright, I'm gonna get on Dingus, and I'm gonna start following.
I have to go for a few minutes. I'll be back.
Okay. All right. So you guys are gonna follow Klopp.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Clop, please! Clop, please!
All right. RG, what is your movement speed at a sprint? You know, double move.
Double move 100.
100. What about you, Gifton?
If I use
120,
my bonus
right?
action with Dingus, it's 120.
All right. Okay. RG,
Mm-hmm.
Klopp is moving at great speed, and you're keeping up, but barely. You can see he is starting to eke ahead. I'm giving you benefit of.
Extra.
You can.
I can give myself extra. If I start burning key, I can give myself an extra 50.
Okay. Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Right. So you start sort of channeling this inner energy of yours into getting your speed up. Your legs taking greater impact. Your strides carrying you further, and you are not just keeping up. You are gaining on Klopp. Gifton, it feels like you are keeping pace. He's not leaving your sight, but the fact that you have the advantage of being able to be in the air and do a straight line rather than this strange clawing around buildings Klopp's doing, You're gaining ever so slightly, but it's painfully slow.
Clop, please. You can't. It's too dangerous to go by yourself, please.
And as you are chasing after him, sort of pleading with him, you do hear the
Clop,
occasional
I'm
scream.
scared, okay? I'm really scared.
Persuasion check from you.
Okay. You know what? No, I can't. I can't.
Burn the inspiration.
I don't actually know if I still have one.
I'll give you an inspiration to burn. You got the best chance on this for us.
Alright, I'll try. Burning Kronos' inspiration.
Okay. Klopp halts ever so briefly. And you can see what you assume are perhaps hearing organs. It's a little hard to tell, directed back towards you.
Clop, please, I am so scared right now. I can't even. Clop, he can come at any time and he can kill the rest of us, okay? Just don't leave us, please.
RG, at this point, you catch up with Klopp. He's up on the side of a building right now, but you can stand beneath him. And Gifton, with him halting, you are not too far behind.
RG basically looks like, come on, man. We want to get him too. Like, but we can't do it this way. We can't set the whole fucking place on fire.
Right.
We're gonna do it right, and we are going to kill that son of a bitch.
You can give me a persuasion check.
Hey!
Very nice.
You're speaking Clop's language.
You see Klopp's form quivering, these tentacles lashing about in rage, and they are gouging chunks out of stonework as they flail about. Before
It's like, I know you're pissed. I'm pissed too. Like, come on, man.
and that form starts to do the slow, lumbering, almost rolling locomotion down the side of the building and settles in front of you. And you are there now, Gifton.
Or just give him the amount of shit. The amount of fuck it is.
What's that, Archie?
RG's giving the amount of whatever the fuck it is a hug.
Okay, that's a very strange sensation right there.
Yeah.
You sort of hug this array of flailing limbs and such, and you feel them sort of calming and slowing. A few do nick you briefly, just in their natural movement, with these serrated edges, like seemingly jutting out random angles from them. But slowly, that quivering stops, and you just have this weight pressing against you.
Yeah, she's gonna hug and pet as able.
Pet. I hope this good location
Like,
to
kind
pet.
of, well, just kind of like whatever she's hugged onto, just kind of like the back of it. Like,
Clop, just come back with us. We'll figure this out. Please. I'm completely spent. I've got nothing left. I used every bit of magic I've got for the day. I'm completely defenseless right now.
Klopp stares at you and Dingus before you see that familiar shifting as it slowly starts to regather itself up into a horse-like form.
I'll look over at RG. Why don't you ride him back and we'll sit on your shoulder, okay?
yeah. RG will just hug and go, I'll make sure you get your show.
Klopp just stares at you, and there is a slightening of his body as if allowing himself to be mounted.
She's gonna hop on, hold an arm for Gifton to land.
Yeah.
Right.
Where the fuck are we?
You are now quite a few streets away from where you were. Do you want to try and take the same way back? A bit awkward. There's a lot of fences and such, or do you want to go down?
Like a nice loop around, so that way we
Nice
are as
loop
conspicuous.
around. Yeah.
Okay, you start to head back as you sort of pass down the entryways onto streets that Klopp just basically soared past. You do see that there's a lot of chatter and people pointing off in the direction Klopp was originally rampaging. You can hear cries of "I seen it! I done seen it!" And yeah, there's a bit of commotion, but
I'm just gonna offhandedly say to RG, it's like they've never seen a cool unicorn before.
and both of you give me perception checks.
Okay, I'm not
Uh,
sure if I appreciate this.
Mhm.
Because perception, again, not my best evers. Perception. Wow. Oh, that's
Okay.
not bad for you.
As you're going down one particular street, you can actually hear people chattering, and you're getting little snippets of punishment for the gods. It's to do with that child that was struck in the church.
Mhm.
Did you hear about that? And yeah,
Gifton frowns.
right. And you are eventually able to make your way back to the tavern. Corvus, yeah, you were knocked on your ass. You're able to get yourself back up. Not particularly fun with your leg, but you're able to pick yourself up. Where's Carrick, by the way?
Carrick said he was up
He was up where?
up in the
Upstairs.
Upstairs.
And honestly,
Yeah.
when the commotion, I didn't go down because I figured Cass and Archie were punching things. And just getting
You figure that that's a fight you don't want to deal with right
Yeah.
now.
So he's up in the room, just
I mean,
kind
to be
of.
fair, he probably would have heard the very loud cry of "Clop, what the fuck?"
Mhm.
He might
and
choose it better. Just, I'm honestly, he's probably at this point still going.
He
I'm
just
gonna
nope, not going
stay up
down
That
here.
might be a fair thing if I'm not getting involved in that. I don't know what it is. I'm not getting involved in that.
Yeah.
can I? So getting back up and going over to table with Thaldir.
Mhm.
I want to do two things before I leave. Is there a visible injury on Thaldir?
No, not that you can see.
I'm not going to disturb any of his armor or any of that stuff. And what can I recall?
Actually, that's a lot. There is like a mild searing, sort of near his shoulder plate. It looks very, very minor.
Um, but
Mhm.
can I look at it?
Yeah. If you,
Or
do you want to do a medicine check?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Go for it. Right. Yeah. You start to explore this, and it looks like a bolt of energy struck him and barely singed his flesh.
Well, the Eldritch Blast from
Mhm.
Orel. Yeah. Okay. And the next thing is, what is a general tradition of a fallen dwarf?
Give me a history roll.
help them back up. They don't like the fall.
Ah,
You
fuck
have
me.
not even the slightest
All right.
knowing.
I will pat him on the shoulder. Hopefully, they get clopped back. I don't know how to handle that, but I just thought that you may have liked to be in his presence in these final moments of, if there is anything from you left. We'll take care of this. Don't get us wrong. We will. There's much work that I need to do about it as well.
Mm.
Rest easy, friend. And he walks upstairs.
Okay. Carrick, you're upstairs. You can hear the footsteps coming upstairs. You're pretty able. Actually, it's rather easy to tell it's Corvus because you can hear that slight awkward gait and the tap of a cane
Okay.
as Corvus comes upstairs. What are you doing up there?
I'm just basically sitting up in the room. I've got the sorry, the drawing of the circle and the runes.
Okay, so you're sitting up there with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Corvus
I'm gonna,
comes.
out of
Yeah.
character, ask real quick. Is anyone able to access the weapon document?
Yes.
I haven't I haven't
I
checked.
don't use the website if that's
Yeah.
what you're trying to do.
I
I
download
save
it.
a copy of it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm getting an application error on both homebrew, on everything from homebrew. So
Yeah. So the
I'll
site's
paste something
probably
between
down.
you in there. Yeah.
I'm getting it too, so.
Yep, it's down.
I wasn't until I refreshed the thing to check.
Alright. RG and Gifton. You arrive back at the tavern.
When we get back in, I'll say, Klopp, do you want to stay in with me while I'd feel a lot better if you were here with us inside. I already told the tavern keeper to go away for the night.
When you ask that, Klopp actually just immediately heads for the door, and
Maybe go through the side door so everybody doesn't see you do it.
walks through the door.
Okay, that's happening.
RG, you have to, you have to duck down a little bit.
Hey, RG, this is gonna sound really dumb. We need to move the boy. Go ask Carrick to see if his grandmother can take him to Dolpwood. I don't know. Maybe we can get a couple people there, get something done, and get a proper report to the pays, and then come back.
I also want to get Boulder's body out of here.
If we can, I'm gonna start trying to do. I know a little bit of Amor rites, but I don't. I'll try praying, but I can't. I don't have anything left to cast anything meaningful right now. And if Varel tries to desecrate his body, I won't be able to stop it right now. And I just want him someplace safe. So I'm gonna try praying, and I'm gonna get my Amor symbols out. We also need to go through his possessions because they're the kids now. And I'm going to ride Dingus off over to the table again, and I'm gonna take off my Amor symbol and go place it on Thaldir's chest, and I'll start pulling through his belongings while I'm kind of in my brain trying to figure out how the fuck I'm supposed to do an Amor.
Okay, so you're going to start going through his belongings. You heading upstairs, RG?
RG's actually first going to, when she gets off Clop, kind of give him another pat on the mane, and just kind of hold his head for a second to hers and just sit there for a second.
As I pull the iron weapon out, you're gonna hear. Oh, I'm also repocketing that vial.
You're repocketing that file? Okay.
I am looking at Klopp, motioning at the vial and putting it in the bag, and mouthing, "We'll talk later." Because I have no idea what the conclusion of the conversation was.
Yeah.
You might have been told if we'd had an evening.
Any more
Yeah.
time?
But no.
Any more time? Nope. Yeah.
RG, when she puts her head to Clop and just stand there for a sec, she's just going to quietly tell him, "I hope you with this. We need you, man." And just pat him again and walk upstairs.
Okay. Right, you head on upstairs. Corvus, were you heading into the room you guys were supposed to be staying in? With Carrick, and it's where Albrecht is laying down. You head on in, and you can see the goblins around him, and Care actually basically on Albrecht's bed, just sort of watching after him.
He'll approach the bed.
Carrick sitting there, seeming looking at a. Did you note it down in paper or a book?
I marked that in my book.
In your book, just looking at his book.
Corvus will head over to the side of the bed, put his cane on against the wall, look down at Albrecht. Has there been any changes, Care?
Yeah, he just seems to be sleeping.
And he will start very lightly checking things out. Pulse.
Yep, give me a medicine check. Yeah, the boy seems fine. He's breathing steady. You can see that he's shifting a little bit in his sleep. It just, you think whatever happened, it's drained him.
He will hobble over, grab one of the chairs, pull it to the side of the bed, um, pull out his book from his father, lay it in his lap, and start just flipping through it. See if there's anything that makes any note. But there at the side of the bed.
Okay, RG, you come upstairs and you see through the open doorway Corvus putting a chair up beside Alberic's bed and settling down with a book.
Arju's just going to stride in and then go, and first I'll go, Garrick, could you please, this is going to sound weird, can you please contact your grandmother, see how much of a toll it would have on her to be able to teleport a group of us back to Dolwood and here?
How many?
Off the top of my head, Daldir's body, I don't know what counts. Probably you because she likes seeing your grandson, me, and maybe one or two others. And then same amount back body.
Okay. Can I?
Whatever time she need, whatever resources she need for it, we'll see what we can do. Just
I'm
oh yeah,
gonna
definitely with them is
go-
also going to be the kid and the golf.
He does need to be away from all of this. This is pointless. I've dragged him into it.
So at least 5.
I'm gonna try and get him to see if the Capates can give him education, that sort of thing, because he's not well off with us. We've already demonstrated that.
Okay.
So I'm removing him from the table, and I want to get the goblins out of here too, because that's just more targets. No
okay.
offense. And she's just gonna look right at the goblin and go, no offense.
The goblins just sort of nod solemnly, and you see Kex just sort of puff his chest out and go, "We watch, boy."
Anyways, can you please, Corvus, can I please talk to you in the other room for a minute?
I'm. How many rooms did we get?
You guys have 3 rooms, I think,
I believe so.
Yeah, we had
Um,
3 rooms.
I'm
It
gonna-
was Cassiopeia,
which was
RG,
pretty pointless, but you guys got
Garrick,
3
and
rooms.
Corvus.
Yeah.
I'll go if you're going into one of the other. I'll go into the third doctor.
Technically, you guys have all the rooms now.
Yeah, but I don't know
yeah.
that yet.
Gifton bought out the inn for the night, so we've got everything to ourselves. Whatever you
Okay.
want to do, need to do. What?
Okay. I'll go find an empty room and contact her. And he grabs his
Blue scarf.
bag, pulls out his scarf, and is gonna head out to a different room, taking his book with him.
RG's going to then go, Corvus, can I please talk to you in one of the other rooms for a minute?
He will stare at RG for a second, then look down to Care. If there's anything that changes, you come and get me immediately.
Yeah, of course.
And he'll shut the book, grab his cane.
Alright, Carrick, you put your scarf on. Yeah.
Mhm.
Right, it's going to take a few moments for her to notice. So we will handle RG and Corvus first.
RG's going to lead them both into the side room, close the door, and offer him a seat, and she's going to sit down on the edge of one of the beds. Just
Corvus will sit.
Hand her Edwards and go. The Shire Reeve told Daldir, I'm assuming it's him who told you guys, about the stuff you stole. And he in turn mentioned it to me back when we were on the boat. Between this and the kid, I'm fairly certain Daldir wanted to kick you gone. I don't have that mindset. But consider this your second chance. You blow this, and I will kick your ass out myself. Am I clear? Corvus?
I heard you. And yes, I had thoughts of leaving.
Well,
But what's happened with this stealing of stuff. Yes.
And so, I don't want you on. I like having you here. You're amusing, and you're the best medic we've got, quite frankly. You're useful in a fight. You don't seem to crack under pressure nearly that easy. I don't know what possessed you to be the one to go talk to Klopp, but a thing.
I have a
Tomorrow,
lot of messed up stuff.
I realize.
Talking to
Tomorrow,
Klopp.
my intent is to send you and Cass to go work with. I'm going to try and rein her in a bit tonight or tomorrow. I want you to try and keep her from ripping one of their off there, because if we're going to get this done, we need to work. That's the be all.
You were breaking
If-
up there. RJ.
Sorry.
Hilariously,
Anyways,
both of you are.
I apologize. Like, even closer.
Yeah.
The truth here is they're both trying to keep from crying.
I mean, a little bit. RG basically said, working with them's the only way we're going to get our shot at this.
Who?
Working with the guards is the only way we're going to get our shot at this. At the end of the day, we have to play by their rules. Cass doesn't seem to want to understand that, but that's the way it has to be.
Yes, that is. They. I don't know what happened in the church after we left, but I imagine it wasn't pretty.
Most likely not. But like I said, I'm going to send you and Cass to go try and work them a bit tomorrow. And I'm hoping we can get something out of it, even if it's just some goodwill so that they'll think, hey, maybe we can take them along. But if we have to do shit on our own, we have to do shit on our own.
Fair enough.
Sorry to pull you.
Well, in all honesty, everyone should know it. You shouldn't have pulled me away for just this. It's quite obvious what I do. And I'm not a good man about it. But I do it for what's best for everyone here. What happened with Albrecht, I didn't know. And yeah, I screwed up. I was going to kill a kid. Blackie. Hey, Blackie is Blackheart. Ignore that.
Anyways, I think you meant Carrick.
Carrick also killed a man. Yeah, he probably wasn't the best man in the world. But people have their own goals. Goals, mind you, that are not counter to anything that is going on with this party. I have my own, and I'm trying to better myself to accomplish those goals. To be a better physician, to be a better medic, to ensure I can keep you from what happened down there. But that is beyond what I understood. That was the only thing I was doing. I'm not finished. That was the only thing I was doing with the gentleman. To find a way to better myself in their knowledge. Yeah, they screwed up. Yeah, they targeted my cousin. I don't know why, but they... Nephew. I don't know why, but they did. And that bugs the hell out to know him.
To be completely honest, my guess would be is that they will have got you to kill someone who was family, so that to prove that wouldn't stand in the way.
They wouldn't even tell me the boy's name or who he was. Just a random
That's the
kid.
point. Of course not. That's the point.
So I find out later by happenstance.
But I mean, you'd look at the kid and get that thought immediately.
Possible.
He is.
I mean, it's a very
spitting fucking
fanciful
image.
haircut. So
He's very spitting fucking image of you, and I'm assuming your brother from.
has more of my brother than I do.
Hmm.
Yes.
But the two things I'll say, and this is my piece on it. I don't want you to become a better physician or thief or whatever if it means losing your soul or yourself. I don't think anyone in this party wants that. Secondly, I have an honest thought that you can become a better person from all this. And I don't know if Thaldir thought that or not, but that's what I feel. That's why I want, and I am giving you a second chance.
Thank you.
Let's get back to what we were doing. I should go check on Gifton and Klopp.
I'll be in the room if anything. There's
Mm,
stuff I have.
okay. And Margie will get up, open the door, and offer
Get on the
Chorus
floor.
out first.
Oh.
No, do the dinosaur. Yeah, do the dinosaur, usual.
Rawr.
Okay, Gifton.
Yep.
So you're going through Faldir's stuff while trying to mull over in your head what exactly you're doing. You find his array of belongings. Plenty of weapons. Just some clothes.
I'm going to take 5 hit points worth of damage because when I find the iron weapon, I'm gonna punch it a bunch of times because I want to feel some pain.
Okay.
I'm gonna take 5 points of damage to myself because I'm doing this to me.
You also find just sort of stashed away a somewhat looks like it was damp but it's been dried out piece of paper.
I wonder if this is important. I'm gonna open it up. Ah, it keeps rolling up. Ah, stop. Dingus, can you step on that end?
Meep, and Dingus will actually help you unravel it. And there seems to be writing. The ink seems to have run a little bit, but it's legible. Would you like to start reading it?
I would like to start.
Okay. Faldir, if you take it away, please.
Are you reading from the top or
Yes, I'm
anywhere
reading
other
from the
than?
top.
If you are reading this, then I'm no longer able to protect any of you. Not that I was very good at that in the first place. I'm sorry. Not that I'm gone, but that the burden this may put on you. See to it that Albrecht gets all of my remaining money, any of my belongings he wants. The rest give to Gifton. Please ensure that each recipient gets the message intended for them, and only the message intended for them. Then you'll see large names with smaller notes alongside each of the names.
I will skim down to where it says my name.
Alright, you'll pass over Albrecht, Corvus, Argy, Carrick, Cassiopeia, and then finally find Gifton as the last large name. Gifton, I wish I could get you and Care to take the kid and run, to hide away and live free and happy, but I know you won't. You want to help people. You want to protect your friends. That's fine. That's good. If you want to do that, I want you to remember what I said. You've done your best to help and protect people. You have a good sense of what's right and wrong. Just be a little more careful about who you trust. Not everyone wants to do right. Some people will take advantage. Some, you might not be able to see the plan. I never could, but I knew there was something. Too often, it's those in power who you shouldn't trust. Don't rely on them. But there are some good ones out there. Eventually. Even then, they can get hung up on what's normal, what's common, what just isn't done. Push against that. Embrace the odd ones out, like the goblins, like all of us. Always strive to do what's right. Oh, if you ever run into a forge hammer, tell them, I'm sorry I didn't come back, but at least I found a home, eventually. And now I can go see Carrot and Cheery and Brian if I'm lucky. Maybe I'll give those gods hell too. And there's one line after that that's just slightly separate.
It's a slightly separate line.
There's many more that I owe something to, but I'm tired. I'll figure it out.
Gifton lets out a soft sad sound and slowly starts rolling up the paper, and then goes over and leans on Dingus for a minute.
Dingus meeps at you curiously, sort of moving his neck around you in a pseudo hug. Ha! Pseudo hug.
Sad written words from Thaldir.
He sort of lets out a sad meep himself and nozzles at you.
I'm going to hold up the paper. Dingus, can you take this upstairs to the rest?
He nods his head and he very delicately takes it into his mouth.
Thank you.
And you see him sort of flap off upstairs.
And I am going to start singing some very sad and low and more hymns. As a...
Okay. Go ahead and give me a religion roll at advantage, please.
Not my night.
Okay. It's strange, but as you're singing, the room seems to feel stiller, calmer, despite you being the only one there.
Well, me and Klopp.
Well, Klopp's very still and calm as it is, but yes, you and Klopp.
Yeah.
Right. Dingus is flapping upstairs, and he's going to go find Carrick. Carrick, as you're sitting there with your scarf, waiting for your grandmother to notice, Dingus sort of flaps on in with a piece of paper. And he lands on your lap and just sort of like tries to nudge it against you.
What's that? I'm gonna pick it up. And
Yeah, and you
See what it
see
is.
what looks to be a letter, perhaps. There's a lot of words on it, somewhat smudged but legible, and you can see the first paragraph quite clearly.
I am not gonna make Henry read that part.
Yeah,
So,
but you're able to read that first part, and then you do see that yes, there are names at the beginning of each of the paragraphs following.
I'm going to scan on down for my name.
Okay, you find your name. Right then.
Carrick, you're a good kid. You've done a bad thing, but nothing you can't turn around. Don't dwell on it. There will be time enough down the line, but don't let yourself get cold about it either. That kind of thing isn't a thing you should get used to doing, and you should try not to do it if you can. I'm sorry I never really got to know you too well. You're smart. You have a lot of talent. You can handle the business, build it up, build a home for this family of ours. Don't let the politics get in the way. And don't forget to reach out to your own family. Talk to them from time to time. Appreciate that gift you have. Oh, take care of Klopp for me. He's a good horse, and he'll protect all of you if you treat him well.
And that
Oh,
is
great!
the
I get the piranha horse to take care of.
And
Great.
yep, the next line seems to be addressed to Cassiopeia. He's Dingus sort of tilts his head at you and lets out a little meep curiously.
I think you should take it to the rest of them. So I'm gonna pat Dingus on the head.
Which, by the
Roll
way,
it up a little bit.
is Toby back yet?
Yeah, I've been
Okay,
here.
right.
I'm gonna roll it up a little bit so it's easier for him to carry.
Okay, Dingus will take it into his mouth, and then you see him flap again. Argy, as you are, you started to leave the room as you finish your conversation with Corvus, right? You see Dingus emerge from the room Carrick's in and sort of flap up to you, holding a rolled piece of paper in his mouth.
Archie will just look at it, pull it out, unravel.
Yeah. Like the rest, you see this first paragraph mentioning not to, please each recipient gets a message intended for them, and then a bunch of paragraphs with names at the beginning following.
She'll think for a second, then start reading.
Okay.
Sorry, you said start reading. I didn't quite
Huron.
catch. Okay, Huron.
She considered reading the rest, but decided, nah, it's dead man's wishes.
Yeah, no, unfortunately for me, you cut out just at that part, so I wanted to make sure. All right. RG, you've changed more than you know. Good. You seem to have found a reason to live, to really live. That's important. Hold on to that. With me gone, they're going to look to someone to lead them. I want that to be you. You're the right choice. Trust me on that. Don't be afraid to lean on the others, though. Talk with Gifton a lot. She often knows what is right and has many good ideas. Dingus and Care are important too. They're a great help. They are important to protect. That's what you need to do now. Protect them, even from themselves. Carrick can be a great help. He knows a lot, but he's going through a lot now. Help guide him. He still has family. Make sure he talks to them. Someone has to become a lord to keep this going. Give him the job. Let him become the one who has to shake the hands, kiss the arses, whatever. Cass is a great kid, but she needs help. Let her know that people are here for her and she doesn't have to be her family. She can be what she wants. Maybe you can lean on that trading company part of the name, kid. Keep the violence as needed. Corvus can go to, which is stroked out, is your problem now. He stole medicine and supplies from South Westheim and Dovewood. I was informed by Dovewood's Shire Reeve. Contracted to kill a kid, a god's damned kid. I didn't realize he was so far gone, that he was so broken. Maybe the kid will help. Maybe not. I don't know. Protect that kid, no matter what it takes. If Corvus threatens him again, end the threat any way you feel it's needed. I don't envy you this decision. I obviously wasn't able to make it in time. Don't worry. You'll do good, kid. Good luck with your family, but be careful with them. Remember the family you chose.
And then the next paragraph seems to be addressed to Carrick.
Arju's going to look at it very solemnly and go, Dingus with me first. And she's actually going to go in, pull out her short sword, and cut the sections out for each person.
Okay. Dingus
she's
watches you curiously, meeping with concern as you start chopping up the letter.
And she's doing her best not to read any sections. Like, she's just basically name, roll it,
Yep.
small bit of thread, tied together.
Luckily, Theldir did try to leave space between the paragraphs, so...
And she's going to take her section, put it in her pocket, and
Beep.
hold the others. Basically, she's used bits of her own outfit, like her wrist piece, not to try and color them a bit. She's going to say, take these two. These are for Corvus. Take them. They're in the room across the hall. I'll take the ones to Cass and Gift to give them back. Take this top half of the note as well, okay?
Beep, beep. And he will take what you give him and flap on towards Corvus.
And Arju's just as a side thing going to go downstairs and basically just hand gifting her part tied together to look nice.
What happened to it?
I took each person's part and put them separate so people can keep them.
Oh.
I made sure not to read them, but
Can
way
you
people
put
have
these
it.
copper coins on Thaldir's eyes for me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
She'll take it and do it and then walk over to Cass and hand Cass her piece. Well,
Okay.
At this point, since
You have been sitting there for
Her-
quite a while.
yeah, as her guest hasn't shown up, Cass has finished the pot of tea and is actually at this point setting the door if it got knocked off the hinges.
It was just open.
Corvus got
Is it
knocked
open?
off the hinge.
Right, we will
yeah,
deal
Corvus got knocked off his hinges.
with Corvus first briefly. Corvus, Dingus sort of settles at your lap and he sort of tries to push this piece of paper up against you.
What is that, Dingus?
And he lets go
You're
of it.
passing notes like a carrier pigeon now.
There's also the top half of the note is there.
Yep. So you see that first paragraph that was read out for everybody. Seems to make sure each recipient gets the message intended for them, but you only see one addressed to you as a separate piece of paper that seems to be recently scored.
Interesting. Opens it up.
Okay, found it.
All right. Corvus, you know what you've done better than anyone. I now charge you with 2 responsibilities. The first is the most important. Fail to do anything else, even the second charge, it doesn't matter so long as you do this. Protect Albrecht at all costs. Make sure the boy grows up good and safe. He's smart, he's brave, and he wants to help people. That's better than any of us, but at least you can make sure it goes well for him. The second charge is almost as important. Heal people. Be the healer that you claim to be. Don't steal, don't cheat. And you see a part scribbled out that looks like don't F and then it just stops. Just be good to people. To help them as you can.
And that is the end of the note.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm crying too.
Yeah. Corvus would sit there with the note, his note, and he'll look down at Dingus.
Dingus tilts his head at you and sort of lets out a curious little meep.
He'll reach out his hand and put it right on Dingus's head, and scratch behind the horns. This is going to be a long, trying time for us all.
You did also, out of care, you did also bring Albrecht's because you were in the same room.
Oh.
Just don't bring it
Albrecht
there.
was.
In that case, Albrecht, you see a paragraph addressed to Albrecht. Do you read it or not?
You did get the top part. It said each person's supposed to read theirs separately.
But it's also
No.
right there.
No.
Okay. So you're just going to take your part?
Yep. Take my part. Well, take Albrecht's part and put it by the table.
Okay.
Put it with the top part and the Albrecht's part there, maybe, and then pocket your own.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, Dingus looks at you curiously, glances at the paper as if like, am I supposed to take anything?
He's getting sent around, the poor child.
Okay. Stay up here if you will.
Okay.
He will grab the first part of the note and pick up Dingus and walk downstairs.
Okay. Cass. RG comes in with a piece of paper for you and hands it to you, and you see it seems to be addressed to you.
There's more of the letter, but it's upstairs with Corvus right now.
Cass is meandering over to the counter and grabbing more hot water for more tea, and just kind of motioning Argy to sit if she wants. And Cass is going to read the letter.
Go for it, idea.
All right. Cassiopeia. You remind me a lot of myself when I was young, full of energy, sometimes anger, and shackled by a family name you didn't want. You don't have to take it on if you don't want to. You have a new family here, one that cares about you. You're a fierce warrior if you want to be, and you're an artist with that wood. Build things that help people. Even out the scales. Maybe try a bit of gardening too. You'd be surprised how relaxing those plants can be. The nature, well, you know how great it can be in the water. Just let it flow over you, I guess.
And that is it.
Cass is going to tuck the note away. T?
Thank you. Look, we need to talk.
Oh?
I know what you've said you're intending to do with the guards tomorrow.
What am
I want you to
intending on doing?
Well, you've been fire and vinegar, or piss and vinegar about giving them what for, but
Oh, they have a choice. They can try and find him and do it before us.
they're Cass. We don't get to make rules here.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, this entire church doesn't get to make rules because they've already blown it severely.
They're the city. Even if the church isn't involved, they're still the city of Kuth.
And she's going to pour a cup
We
of tea
have
very
to
calmly.
we have to play by their. I'm not saying that we're not going to get around because we fucking are.
And she's going to pick
But
up.
don't take it out on the guard. It's the
She's
same
gonna-
as it wasn't the fault of the guards in. Sorry, I'm just trying to finish the sentence before I lose it. She says it's the same as it's not the fault of the guards in Dole that the town got attacked. It was something they could not have accounted for. It's the higher ups at fucking church didn't tell the people down on the street what was going on. We can't blame the street folks for not knowing that this guy was around because they were never told. They were never that. That's not their fault. I'm all for when we find them, we get the fuckers that were that brought that decision down and make them accountable for it. But don't make the day-to-day of the regular folk any worse than it is for this. We want to work with them. We want to get a rel. We can't lose it by pissing them off.
She's going to sip her tea and just look at Archie and go, they're going to lock us out. They're
Then
not going to
we'll
tell us anything because we aren't the law. They are. They serve the law.
Yeah, but if we can give them enough chance of showing we're willing to work with them, we want to make it right, and that sort of thing, and we have the end of they killed one of our. He killed one of because, and she's gonna gesture over at Thaldir's body. He did. By all rights, that's his damn fault. But we have to play it as best we can by the rules. If we gotta split from it at some point, fine, but we can't do it off the hop. We gotta wait. Okay? I promise you, we are going to get him and we are going to rip him a new asshole and rip him apart. But can you please keep it straight and narrow for a bit longer?
Keep me away from them?
I can't do that. You're the best chance we got for working with the guards. Because I was going to
No,
tomorrow
I'm
send
not.
you. Out of who we've got, because I want to have. Honestly, look, my plan is I want to send you and Corvin to work with the guards, give information as necessary, whatever, relay back to us what you find out, things like that. I'm going to try and send Gifton and Carrick to make inroads with the church itself, because probably some people in there, and Gifton has a hell of a way with people.
It's really hard to concentrate with
I'm
this
sorry.
going on.
Archie?
I'm already at the edge of what I can do.
Archie? You want to send a man who has a habitual problem of eating his own shoes and a centaur who literally wants to see the city burn to go help someone.
Gifton is gonna suddenly whirl her head over in the both of your direction. We do not have the luxury for anger problems right now. We have a lot going on, and we can't afford to make more enemies out of whatever is going on here.
I said wants to, didn't say will.
I know what you're saying, and you're acting like a child before we've even started. Thaldir isn't here right now. He would want us to do this right, okay? So, Archie, if you want, I'll go to the fucking guards tomorrow. I don't mind. As long as we have a plan and we're doing something.
Okay. Cass, do you think you could do better with the priests? Do you honestly think?
Honestly, at this point, I think I should be kept out of it because
That's not a
personally-
luxury we have right now.
It's not a luxury we have, but it's a luxury we need to take because I don't want to make it worse. I'm going to be honest with you. There are two things on my mind right now. And
You
I
told
don't want to
me
make
that your kindness was stronger than your rage. You told me. You told her.
What is your word, O Wilder mine?
Prove it. Prove to me that you are not so scared to make an enemy of every goddamn person in this city right here, right now, and that you're going to do the right thing for the people that need us. Because you know what? Yeah, there's a bunch of terrible people out there that have probably helped him do horrible things. But you know what else there is? There's a whole bunch of victims out there that don't even know what's going on. There are people who go to work every day thinking that they are doing the right thing, and they don't know, okay? And they don't deserve to be treated like refuse and tossed about like they are criminals for doing the right thing. We have to be better than him, Cass. You can't let him ruin what's good in us. Do you really want to just let that dark corruption just roll over you and blot out any sign of light and hope and dream and mercy? Come on,
Cass is going to sip the tea, set the cup down politely, grit her teeth a little bit, stand up, and just start trotting towards the rooms. And she's like, you know what? If you want me to talk to the guards, I'm going to need to get some sleep. And she just trots off.
Roger's good looking, saying, thank you. And
Gifted
back to
shoulders
Gifton.
have basically just fallen down, and she looks just completely defeated. I don't want to yell at my friends.
Corvus is at the foot of the stairs, not hiding, just kind of not interjecting. And he's going to look down the dingus and release him. Go to Gifton.
Dingus flaps over to you, Gifton, and you are suddenly wrapped up in neck and wing.
I'm gonna just like take it for a minute. Archie, I can't get this straight. I just want so bad to. What he did to
Sure.
those ghosts. I can't let him do that with Haldir.
I know. Archie will go
Can
and
you just get
start helping her.
any Talon priest? Just anybody. I don't care. I can't do this. I'm not a priest. I'm a fucking fae. This isn't what I can do.
You want me to see who I can get?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. And she's going to motion to her back. I've got the base piece for the squawk box with me if anyone needs anything.
She nods.
Archie's just going to stop it. She's about to leave and go, Club, buddy, you want to trip around town?
Klopp seems to look at Valde's body and give me an insight check. You can see the shifting of his form and his posture. He seems awfully guardy of Valde right now, but you can see there's that slight inhaling of nostrils as he's still trying to take a scent in, and he's looking towards the door.
Want to stay with him a bit longer, bud?
He could stay with me if that's okay.
Okay. I'll be back.
I'll feel safer.
And
Do you want to take care with you?
I should be okay. I can, if anything comes from me, I can outrun.
She Insight roll.
Go for it.
I need it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I know you're not deceiving, but I don't
It's
believe
very
it
hard to
right
read,
now.
RG.
Yeah. Just don't go far. There should be a temple really close by.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going too far.
Okay, you're heading out, RG.
Yeah, she's gonna go and see that. It's from what I remember, it's only like midday, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fairly early.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going to start very quietly taking every seed that was in that seed bag, because my seed bag was filled by Thaldir,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to start blooming them all and then working them into his beard, and I'm just going to keep singing really sad hymns.
Okay, Corvus, you're sort of watching this at the bottom of the stairs. Are you staying down here, or you heading out? What are you doing?
Corvus is gonna go over, pull a chair next to Gifton and Thaldir. Acknowledging Klopp's existence. And sit down, hands on his cane.
Okay.
You don't have to stay down here. You need to. You can see the care upstairs with Albrecht.
No, I need to keep watch. I can see when things happen. You know that.
Yes.
I'll know. And she closes her eyes and goes, if you could do it and you could, I'd let you do it. You know I would. And I'm actually going to cast fucking stupid sight, because I have the ability to do stupid sight right now, and I'm just been like made paranoid by somebody. So fuck.
Okay. You close your eyes and you cast this, and immediately behind you, very close to the table, you get a surging ping. Or celestial.
You suddenly see Gifton like nearly like leap a foot and jump back. Oh no! Oh no! I'm drawing my bow.
Okay.
Gift. Corvus will react as well. His hands were on his cane. So
She looks like she's jumping at nothing. There is nothing anywhere nearby to see.
You've seen me jump at nothing before.
Yeah, that's true.
You've also seemed to be right about jumping at nothing before.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Every time I've jumped at nothing, it's been something. So yeah, I'm pulling my bow. You won't mess with him.
I'm not going to.
No, you don't know that something. There's someone else here.
And it's a little disorientating as it doesn't even seem to blink into existence or anything of that sort. It's just suddenly there. You see a familiar form. Just some people who don't. Yeah, you all saw her in the chapel.
And we also when we were walking back from
Of
the tavern.
Puriel standing there, just sort of hands up her robe sleeves.
Puriel is
I'm
the
gonna immediately lower
Imor
my
angel.
weapon.
more.
I immediately lower my weapon. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my gods, I am so sorry. Oh God.
Calm yourself, Gifton.
My apologies. Oh.
Curious that you were able to sense me.
I can see ghosts and stuff. It's not okay.
And she looks over you, and you can see her gaze wandering over Faldir, and she gives a little nod over to Corvus.
Has any of this stuff been loud enough for me to hear it upstairs? By the
Probably.
way,
I would have been pretty loud, yeah.
Yeah.
When she was yelling, yeah.
I'm
Cass is
come
coming
rushing
back.
down.
Okay. You all come rushing down, and yeah, there is the Angel of Death of Imor standing there, right by Faldir's table.
Ooh, Gifton's like getting that look of it. I should have pulled the bow on the angel.
You didn't. Yeah. Don't know you're doing that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing that. Ooh,
I'm
I am-
very, very sorry for your loss.
he's someplace better now. That's how it works, right?
She gives a slow nod and goes,
And he's at peace.
He's at peace with his family in Ilan's Gardens.
She nods. We just have to make sure he stays that way.
His spirit will not be disturbed. Nothing could disturb his spirit, but you are worried about the mortal form, the flesh.
She nods.
You see her slowly come over, and she reaches a hand out and just gently lays it on Valdir's chest, settling on that beard
Covered in flowers and
covered in
braids.
flowers, and just closes her eyes briefly. There. Nothing will touch him now. Nothing can defile his body, and he will remain as this for a 10-day.
Thank you so much. I'm so sorry.
It was a very brave thing he did.
What did he do?
It was Albrecht's time. And normally, that is it. Albrecht would have passed on, and Albrecht would have been at peace. But I think your friend here wanted him to experience life more. And he offered himself in his place.
He's always been kind of that way. He always thinks he knows best for all of us.
He is a good man. And I want all of you to give me an insight roll.
There's Carrick with that monster
Yeah.
insight.
Okay. Carrick.
Yes.
While the words don't seem dishonest, they seem a little hollow, and you can see she's more focused on all of you rather than what she's saying.
Thank
What
you,
else was going on?
Well, I was hoping you could help me with that, as I have helped you. And she gently strokes Valdir's beard briefly before pulling her hand away.
Well, don't you see what happens from time to time, or only when things die?
Only when I come to collect. I am not a god. I do not see all.
Do you collect all those that die?
Not just me. My brethren do, as well. It's chance that we met again. But-
Did you ever
Mm-hmm.
collect any brownies or fae?
You're kind.
Yeah.
I never have.
Oh.
But little brownie, little fae. Perhaps you can answer me a question.
You can try.
Do you know any other angels? Have you ever encountered one?
Several. I've seen them. I see lots of things around.
I see them.
And the rest of you? Have you too seen them, Bono?
I don't know who this Bodo you speak of.
I haven't
Out of
seen
character.
any-
Out of character. Perel, the floaty, Bernie Halo eye thing.
Nope. That's Rick Beale.
Rick Beale.
No,
Trill is
Trill
the
is a
one-
beautiful woman. Brown hair.
That's the one who showed up in the square when the Father Stone
Was
Yeah.
blessed. Yeah.
gained. Yeah.
Okay.
The one who Cass was cussing out continuously for
Right.
4 weeks.
And she is looking at the rest of you.
Yes. We've dealt with lesser out of character. I can't remember what he was considered.
Rick
Cherub.
Beale is
Cherub.
a cherub.
A cherub.
Yeah.
They're both
Uh,
angels, but you could say
yeah,
we
no.
dealt with two angels, but yeah.
But really, the only one that Rick Bill was Gifton and Garrett.
Eric.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 Give
The
the look to
screeching.
Corvus.
What?
Remember, I was possessed out of character.
Right. There was that.
That was out of character comment, by the way.
Yeah.
Are you looking for another angel?
Yes, a almost friend. But you've dealt with them.
Friend?
Mm.
It's an almost friend.
I talk to him all the time, but nobody usually talks back.
Well, tell me, who do you address?
You want to answer?
No, this is you want to insight that?
Yeah, because what if it's a lost friend? Why doesn't she know their name?
Go for it. Well, she's asking, who do you address?
Yeah. Who are you
See if
talking
maybe there's some overlap.
It's hard to read. Two parties not wanting to play their hands.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
was that?
Unfortunately, I have too much trust in my heart and my soul.
There was that other angel that came down in Dovewood. Puriel.
This is Puriel.
I am Puriel.
This is Puriel.
Too many hits to the head.
Sorry. And then there's the thingy.
Little thingy?
Gifton and Carrick know more about that one.
The cherub?
Yeah, the false priest's friend.
Cherub working with the false priest.
No, he was watching the false priest.
Watching him.
Yeah.
Do you know whose cherub this was?
Mm-mm. I don't know. Actually, do I know that Rick Beale belongs?
You do.
I do. Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
go ahead and give me
Yeah.
one of those deception checks, please.
No, I won't. Say
You're not doing
I'll,
the.
I'll say. Oh yeah, he's Raz's friend, right?
Raz.
Yeah.
Raziel.
Yeah, you know him.
Once.
What was this one's name again? The one that we're talking to.
Puriel.
Puriel. Like the
But-
hand sanitizer.
Yes, like the answer.
Carrick's
Pure
grandma
L.
says he's not really an angel, though.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
Alley Loud.
I need out.
Yeah, you've been very quiet, so I turned your volume
Oh.
up, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you see her eyes suddenly widen, and you all see at once Raziel standing behind her. And I'm giving
Is
everyone
Puriel glowy eye and glowy mouth?
no surprise, just surprise.
Okay.
And I'm giving you all a momentary chance to react to this. If you so wish.
question: is he armed?
Give me a perception check. He is directly behind her.
He has at least two of them.
Does
He
he have
has
wings? Does he have wings? Actually,
He does.
okay. I was just. Does he look?
I've never seen him with wings before.
That's actually right.
There are a
There's-
pair of large white wings flared out behind him.
I am looking. I have no horse in this game. I'm sorry. I don't know that she's hostile to him, so I can't do anything.
Anyone else doing perception checks?
I mean, passively, 14.
I'm not.
I'm not there.
Okay. Alright.
Wisdom monkey.
15s and overs through rolls or passive. Raziel seems to have a large spear that he's currently levered back.
Alley?
Mhm.
Lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt.
You're gonna go right through fucking Puriel to hit him.
Or is he targeting Puriel? That's the question.
No,
What?
I'm targeting Raziel.
They're gonna hit her.
Okay.
As Cass is hauling back to charge, she's just, Imperial, get down, blarb!
Okay. Go ahead and roll me your lightning bolt damage.
If I see, can I react?
Yeah, I'll let you react to that.
Oh, actually, no, I can't. Fucking out of spells. Never mind.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep. I reach my hand like I'm gonna do something, but I can't.
You totally go to cast a spell and find no power to power.
All right.
I have no power to do so.
So-
I tried to cast Shield of Faith.
Cass's lightning bolt lashes out, and I'll say you can angle it to just catch him if you so please.
Yeah, because Cass doesn't hate Puriel. Puriel just came off very wrong, on the wrong foot, trying to give her warnings.
You really hated Puriel back in Dolvwood.
The hatred has calmed down a
Really
bit.
did.
You really hated Puriel.
And-
You seem to hate her more than you hated Raziel in your confrontation.
And Raziel does not even try to avoid this. He will take the full brunt of it, as he is more focused on forcing that spear forward. And you see it pierce Puriel's back. And there is a sudden blinding light as she lets out a scream. All of you make me a con saving throw, please.
Even me?
Yay.
Even you.
Okay.
Ah!
I'm not making this.
Probably not.
Very low today.
Sam, we need Gifton.
I know. I can never remember if it's not the side bit. It's the other.
It's
bit.
the one. It's the one that
It's the
literally
box.
says saving throw.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I'm probably okay. Fuck you guys.
And that's everybody. I'm sitting here going, okay, RG's away, but that means I should have 5 rolls. Oh no, Faudi's dead.
Make the
Okay.
ghost roll.
Well, the corpse auto fails.
Corpse auto passes. I'm pretty sure.
Everybody but Gifton. You are blinded for a good 10 seconds.
Yay. Oh, 10 seconds. That's not yay. That's 2 rounds?
Gifton,
Almost.
what you see is Puriel's form fall to the ground as Raziel pulls his spear back. A look of heartbreak on his face. And you see what looks like to be scorched in wings on the floor where she falls.
Raz, what just happened?
What had to happen? What shouldn't have happened, but... I
Did I
can't...
mess up? I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. I can't let this all be for naught. And about this time, you guys are starting to regain your sight.
And we can see Puriel on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look down and I'm look at Raz and I'm just going back and forth processing this.
I'm so sorry. I did not... And he actually lets the spear drop to the ground. As he actually kneels down beside Puriel, and you see him in this sort of upside down fashion, but his hand cups her face, and you see him bow his head. I'm so sorry.
Why?
They can't know about me.
Why didn't you tell us?
Because ultimately I'm a fool.
Why can't they know about you?
Because he's a fallen angel, Carrick. There's
I
probably all
am
sorts
not
of bad
fallen.
shit. What?
I work in the service of my lord.
You lied to us?
And he slowly reaches for his spear and stands up. The one and only lie. The most important lie. I would like to tell you so much more. I would like to take you into my fold, my embrace, and show you why this is all worth it. But his eyes dart over to Cass.
Is this Marist?
Cass is looking at him. No rage, no nothing. She's just staring at him.
It's probably not safe.
It's
For you
not
here.
safe for me. Yeah.
I won't say your name anymore if it causes this. I'm sorry.
I will leave you all with this. Soon you are going to have to make a choice. The few or the many. I'd like to save the many. Consider what's more important. And with that strange fluttering noise, he is gone. And so is Puriel's body.
Is the spear gone or is it still there?
It's
Yeah,
gone.
he picked
You
it up.
picked it up.
Okay.
So, any word on Grandma?
Nothing yet, Carrick.
Nothing.
Corvus is going to turn on his heel and go back upstairs. Gifton, you should get some rest. Pointless to go over all of this. Can't.
Midday.
It's
Just-
midday.
It was
Get-
definitely-
It's
it is most definitely
noon.
like 2:00.
Clop, if there's anything in the kitchen you want, get it.
Klopp
Also,
is
Klopp,
standing
what
near
do you-
Faldir.
What do you eat? Do you like to eat like horse? Do you want to eat other stuff? I noticed Faldir keeps taking plates out.
What does eat like horse?
Yeah, I don't know what
Hey,
eat
Klopp.
like horse means either. I'm a fucking brownie.
No, I'm actually asking her.
Klopp
I'm
just
asking Gifton.
And they eat grass and
Oh, you
leaves
mean
and...
like a horse, not eat like horse. I'm like, horses put food in mouth just like we do.
Klopp just lets out a snort in reply. It's very hard to tell what it means. But so he extends upwards. His legs sort of fragmenting off into these tendrils again, and he reaches up with some from his back, and he hefts himself up to the ceiling.
Uh-huh.
And he just sort of stays there above Faldir's body, just seemingly watching.
I'm gonna go see what they have back there and bring some stuff out.
Spider horse on the fucking ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
Spider horse, spider
Spider
horse.
horse.
More of a semi-horse at this point, but yes.
Spider horse.
I'm gonna go back in the kitchen and see what they got. Maybe I'll.
If anyone comes in and Klopp ambushes him, that's gonna be a real what the fuck moment.
I'm gonna go
Um.
ahead and like take out a bedroll and set up nearby, and I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna sleep down here with Clop and Dingus, and
This, out of character, this would be an excellent point for you to hit the fucking radio and stop Archie from going to get a priest for a thing that's already been done.
oh yeah, I'm gonna hit the radio really quick. Hey Archie,
Yeah?
some bad shit just went down at the tavern. Can you come back?
That is
Yeah,
the
I'm on my way
best.
back.
We don't need a priest anymore. That's over
Okay.
with.
Unless that's how.
can
Unless
worry
that's that
about
character
why.
we're about to get, then please get it.
Right, you're gonna head back, RG.
Yep. So
Okay.
Alright, I'm sitting at my bedroll and I'm just camping out and I'm not doing anything else. For the rest of
A
the time.
bit of time passes. RG's able to get back to the tavern.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
make a roll.
Okay.
I'm cooking.
Okay, Carrick prepares you all a really fucking nice meal.
I'm also bringing out some stuff and seeing what Clop will take.
Klopp seems to take anything. Right now he's being a little standoffish, so if you offer anything up to him, it just sort of gets briefly snatched out of your hand and just pulled into his body.
Perfectly fine. I have now found where we put Corvus's cooking.
That's
RG?
mean.
You-
I'm sorry.
You,
He ate Corvus's cooking once.
You arrive back just
It's
as
bad.
Carrick's starting to dish stuff up for people. Give me a perception check, please. Okay.
Helps, passive 16.
Passive 16. Okay, that does help. So, first of all, you notice strange scorch marks like spread wings on the floor. And then, a moment later, there's a slight jumping moment as you notice a semi-horse black tentacled mass clinging to the ceiling.
I'll be honest, at this point, I think she's less freaked out by that.
That's still a little startling to see, even if it doesn't freak
Still
you out.
friendly, but she's seen Club do a couple
Yeah.
things in the last couple days. Seen a lot of different clop shapes in the last couple days.
I
She's
should
looking up-
probably clean those.
I don't know if he should be up there if he falls asleep. Also, what the fuck happened?
Raziel murdered Puriel.
Yeah.
Okay, and in the middle of the room, why?
To apparently keep his secret. Because
Sure.
apparently he's been playing us.
Can you just stop saying his name? Puriel showed up and she offered to help with Valdir, and then she started asking questions, keep talking angels. And I told her who we'd been talking to and his little friend. And Raziel suddenly appeared and cast lightning bolt at him, and he killed her. And then he said he didn't want to do it, and he looked very sad and upset.
Which,
But
Carrick,
he said,
with your role, you do know something was definitely off about Puriel.
Something was off with her, though.
and he said he had to do it, and that he didn't want to have to do it, and he was very upset about it. But he said that he couldn't let the sacrifice be for nothing. I think he meant, and she looks over at Thaldir, and he said that we would have to make a choice very soon if we want to save the many or the few. And that he wants really badly to trust us, but he looks over at Cass. And then he said it wasn't safe for him to be here right now. And he also admitted that he's still working for, and that no one can know. And he said that's the only lie, the biggest lie.
Okay, so whether we're supposed to or not, we know there's a lot of people, a lot of horses in this race, more than we thought.
I think there's a much bigger game going on than we like.
Carrick?
I'm fairly certain there's a bigger game.
Yes, Grandma?
Carrick, dear, sorry, I was sleeping.
It's okay. We have some problems.
Oh, what's wrong, dear? Hang on, let me get to my ball. I've just got this orb right here. It does not give much sight. And you can feel more than hear a sort of mental groan,
Something
almost.
about
Remember Thaldir?
Yes, the handsome dwarf.
Damn it!
You had to get your damn cackle from the other room.
Died this afternoon.
Oh, I am sorry, my dear. How... he was old, I know, but how did he... Was it peaceful?
No.
Sure,
have to.
you okay?
I'll be right
No.
there, dear.
Okay.
I'm not okay either.
I'm gonna scoot the table and stuff around a little bit so that the space next to me doesn't appear inside of a table or something.
It
You're gonna have another
takes.
visitor.
Yeah, go for it.
Hmm?
It takes about 5 minutes, so if you want to say something in the meantime, feel free.
I'm just saying, Grandma's coming. We're gonna have a visitor.
Okay. Clop, you remember Lynn, right? Be nice.
Crop bobs his head. No, that's
It's
Dingus.
massive
Yeah.
things, Bob's.
Crop just sort of
Oh, I should have warned
doesn't
you about
react
that.
so much. You just see him sort of retract a little bit more towards the ceiling.
Please, Grandma, can you still hear me?
There's no reply.
Oh God, no!
She's probably casting a spell right now.
She's gonna have a heart attack. She comes through that, I'm gonna... Great, you're gonna have 2 bodies. Well, technically 3.
And then
I'm gonna start Prestying the floor.
you can start there. What the bird?
Try
Angel
to
dust.
clean up the bird marks.
Okay, this is gonna take a while because
I'm gonna try to at least make it so it isn't become obvious what it is.
it's
At
just sort of
least.
going around the edges.
Yeah.
If nothing else, we have to explain when he gets back too. If it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would Presty it, but I don't Presty. And
Yeah.
I don't think Mend will help
So,
me on thaumaturgy.
you are
Draft.
just about done,
Finally.
sort of blurring the outline of the right wing when there is a sudden pop sound, accompanied by a bit of a crackle, as by the door a flash of blue arcane energy flares into existence,
As
and
long as it doesn't light the place on fire.
there's a little sound of wood as Lynn's feet settle onto the floor.
Hi, ma'am.
Argy,
I'm gonna nod. I'm not
Gifton,
gonna say anything.
and what are you? She's just looking up at the ceiling.
That's Clop, our horse.
That's the horse.
You've got a very odd
You know-
definition of
you know-
horse.
Out of character. I'm
I
gonna
don't know
come
what
to this.
she said.
You know, this is like you. It's kind of like, oh, what's that? Oh, that's my pet. What's your pet? Oh, it's Godzilla.
Hang on a second. As she sort of walks forward towards Faldir's body on the table, I need to make a roll for her. Right.
She eats the body. Crap.
You can see her giving an odd look towards Carrick as he's sort of cleaning up these marks on the floor. So what
With
happened?
Messy people. Doesn't say that in character, by the way, but I like that.
Shouldn't have put food in your mouth.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping you had a moment there. The false priest from Dolphwood was.
He killed the boy.
The boy's
The
gone.
The Thaldir traded his life to get the boy back.
Yes. Boy is sleeping upstairs.
We want to get the boy as far away from here as possible. The bastard has a tendency to be quite vicious, and he's just a kid.
She nods slowly, and you can see her just sort of brushing her hand over Faldir's forehead, through his hair a little bit. I'm very sorry. The boy, you want me to take him?
We are hoping if you're able to get him and 2 goblins we had with us to Dolewood so that we can get them out of the line of fire. The goblins.
You can't send them to Dolphwood. It's not safe for them there.
I'm back.
Albrecht is effective.
The whole town is just turning really venomous, and they were so cruel.
Albrecht is effectively a lord, and he could basically say that they're his. That's the best I can think of, but do you honestly think they're safe here with?
There is another possible place.
No?
My mother's protected.
For that to people with her, though.
Yeah, but it is far away from here.
Is Wintercroft any nicer to goblins, though? And a little kid's a lot of
Look
to
up
take
at
on.
Grandma, or look over, because I'm pretty sure there's not, actually there probably is pretty
Less
big
so.
difference.
Uh,
So,
They do not have the protection of law quite as much there. Small town, scared people.
It's just,
Where do you want the
did you
boy to end
ask
up?
them? Dolwood's the best place for the boy.
With the nobles you have had me talk to?
Yeah. We were hoping that we could convince them to
If they won't,
take him
my
as a
family
ward.
will.
take him
It's
as
the
a ward. They
best.
can get him education and just something better than this. Something better than being a frigging target to make us off ourselves one by one trying to save.
It's a hard way to say it.
Carrick, my dear,
Can I think of a truer way to say it?
yes,
would you come with me?
absolutely. I have another question before we go, though. It's tied to this. He's going to pull out his book. You know far more than any of us do about probably most things. The priest that he was pretending to be here was killed, and I found magic in the room. Circle. He's going to pull his book out, and
Sure, the
I
pages.
don't know anything about this.
You see an exacerbated look cross her face as she gives you a very, very dour stare. First celestial, and now infernal. What am I
You're
going
getting
to
all the
do
friends.
with you?
This isn't mine. This is the.
This is the script of Devils and Demons. It is bad.
Do you know what this would have been used for?
Which part?
Well, he's going to show the letters here were around the circle.
Well, yes, it's a summoning and binding.
No, whatever he did, it wasn't still there, it seemed.
It wouldn't keep something permanently.
There was also a book in his room. Well, I don't know if it was the actual priest's or his. I didn't touch it, but I used magic to get it close enough, and I couldn't. Was it out of character? Was it the same language?
It was the same script, yes.
It was the same script. I didn't trust to try to take it because I didn't know if it was dangerous to have.
Such books should be burned.
Okay. Hopefully the clerics that checked his room may have found it. And
Sorry
hopefully
to see
got
you
rid of
under
it.
such poor conditions.
Well, it is your life, yes?
Seems to be.
I will take the boy and the goblins with me to Dolwood. I will make sure no harm comes to them. I will talk to the Capays on your behalf. Either he will stay with them and the goblins with him, or they will come with me. I'll make sure nothing happens to him.
Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna.
We don't deserve your help. I'm thankful.
And what a foul dear.
Would you be able to deliver him to Father Stone?
No, he goes to the Illen church. He worshipped Illen.
What is Stone? Did I meet Stone?
He was.
If you want, I can go with you.
Certainly.
She's
Which church is Stone?
Amor.
Here's a more.
Then you would want to talk to him and the Illen priest or priestess. Was Valdir an Illen worshipper?
yeah. Illen.
I know that,
Well, he
right?
liked flowers, but
He was never
I'm generally not sure if he worshipped anybody.
Do you not have a hidden priest here?
There is only
This is a
priest
Talon-only
Talon.
town.
It is the center of the church.
It's Cliffweight.
That's
I'm in Colthwaite.
Yeah.
yes.
Whoopsies.
He attacked us in the middle of the cathedral during a sermon, Lynn. We were at church.
Which at least proves that if the guy sees us, he can't seem to.
We weren't
Contain
taking a bunch
himself.
of dumb risks. We were just being people.
Rash creatures. I'm sorry that he attacked you there.
And so you don't go worrying about Roadville. That is also taken care of.
You didn't talk to Lynn after Roadvale?
He did not.
It was not easy
I
doing
told
it.
you to talk to her. I'm sorry, Lynn. I'm gonna ring his ear out later.
Don't worry, he's coming with me. Argy, dear, you are welcome to come if you wish.
Oh well, it'll be easier to explain things in person, I feel, instead of
Corvus should see his
sending a
nephew off.
proxy.
I don't know if that's more taxing on you, though.
Out of
I can
character.
carry 8 of you.
Out
No
of
more.
character. Has he been awake?
Albrecht
That
has
we
not
know
woken
of.
up yet.
Okay. Does it work if they're not conscious?
It works if they're not conscious. It works if they're dead.
Because
Sure, he's got his papers from Theld. RG, here, take the bag. It's everything Thaldir had. It's all his money. I've put everything together. It's all there.
out of character.
As you're sort of getting Argy to take this, Corvus, where are you?
Corvus is headed back upstairs
Okay,
to the room.
Corvus, you see Albrecht actually starting to get up, and you see Care trying to no, lay down, lay back down. Oh, and
Care.
obviously can't do anything about this.
Care. Yes, Tix. Nix.
Faldir, where is Faldir?
You three go downstairs and get some food. Kara cooked something up.
And Care's shaking his head, and the goblins sort of are glancing at each other.
Fine. He shuts the door. He walks over to the chair. Sits down. Albrecht.
Where is he?
He's downstairs.
So he's okay?
I'm sorry. Whatever happened in that church, Thaldir corrected it.
Oh no. And he's going to get up out of bed. And
He'll put his hand on Albrecht's shoulder and hold him on the bed. I'm not done, Albrecht.
what?
He'll reach over and give him the note. Read this before you go downstairs.
Albert will give you a confused look before sort of snatching the note away, and his eyes flickering over it hurriedly. Faldir.
And I've just been closing a few windows too. 1 second. There we go. Quick question: is he going to read the first part of the note first? Because I know
that
it
was
was
that was there
provided
for
to you.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip it anyways,
Yep.
but I thought I'd make sure to ask that to see if he noticed the part where he gets hold of money and any of Thaldir's belongings.
That was a question I was going to ask. I can remember if that was in Gifton's are in the first part. So
Yeah, it's in the
all of
first
us
part.
already
It's in
know
the
that.
first part. Yeah.
Yeah, it's see to it that Elbrecht gets all my remaining money, any of my belongings he wants, the rest give to Gifton, and then it's make sure everyone gets the messages. All right, Albrecht, I'm sorry, kid. I'm sorry I'm not going to be able to fulfill that promise. The others will get you safe, though. Your uncle is a complicated man, and I can't tell you how to deal with him. He's gone to dark places, done some bad things, but he seems to care about you. Take what good you can from it. Leave behind the bad when you can. I'm sorry. That's it.
Corvus, you can see tears rolling down Alberic's cheeks.
And he will slowly release Albrecht's shoulder.
He's gonna stand up, and he walks to the door, opens it, and heads out. The rest of you can hear footsteps coming down the stairs, and you see Albrecht slowly making his way down, hand on the banister, staring at Valdir's body as he comes down.
Oh, I
Unfazed
don't
by the
like
weird spider
this.
horse.
Doesn't seem to notice.
Wait until he looks up, and then we have to go wake him back up.
He died because of me.
No, he didn't. He died because of what Aurel did. He didn't die because of you. Don't you dare blame yourself.
She said it was my time, and then he came along. He didn't have to do that. He shouldn't have done that.
He loved you very much.
He hardly knew me. How could he love me like...
He hardly knew any of us, and he was willing to throw his life away every day to keep us safe, okay? And I'm gonna make damn well sure that I am worthy of the fact that I had Thaldir Forgehammer to try and take care of me. And I charge you to do the same, Albrecht. Forgehammer.
You see his shoulders sunk briefly. He clenches his eyes shut. Tears.
My lord! Albrecht Forgehammer. First of his name? Actually, no. It's not right. Scratch that whole last part because we know he's related. He's another Albrecht in that family.
And he comes down and makes his way over to Faldir's body. And you see him sort of lean his head down, his forehead pressing into Faldir's. And he just starts to mumble something beneath his breath. And all of you can make a perception check if you so please.
Corvus is upstairs still.
Nope, not making
Making
roll.
a perception check. I have to keep opening up the character sheet because I keep closing it.
Why do you keep closing?
Why?
Because I'm recording and I don't like to have it up. I only break it out there.
Pop it out. and put it on-
Minimize
Popping
it.
it out. There.
Put it on the other screen.
I just did. I
Well,
keep
do it
doing this
again.
Leave her alone. She's flustered
No.
enough.
I'm
No.
flustered and crying, you sons of bitches.
No. I got
You're crying
She's
too.
gotta deal with it.
Make
so
your
there.
perception checks already.
I'm not
I
making one. I said I wasn't making one.
Oh, you're not making one? Okay.
No.
Alright.
And they're all done.
So,
All the living
Cassie? You're the only one that hears this. You can hear Albrecht saying, I'm so sorry. I will make this right. I will make this worth it. I will help people in your stead, Father. And up in Innan's Gardens, Faldir, you hear a faint voice in the back of your mind. And for a brief moment, it feels like Albrecht's beside you, speaking these words. And then it's gone. Right down below, you see Albrecht straighten up, his eyes still closed. He's hands resting on Valdir's shoulders, as he takes a deep breath.
And then screams when he looks up.
All of his possessions now belong to you, okay? And I don't pretend to know what this is going to be like going forward for you or for us. But we'll always come if you need us, okay? We're going to get you someplace safe.
His possessions are mine.
Yes.
And his possessions are yours.
No. That's not how this works.
He did,
I am a lord, right? This is how I say it works.
and he did say only what he wished.
That is my wish. Put it to good use. He would not want something to go to waste, no?
I'm gonna bring some food out for him. You should
I'm not front.
have some food.
Fine.
Just gotta.
If you do not want his things, they fall to me. RG, you will take this bag of Valdir's things to the Capes, and you pay for any tutors and anything the boy needs.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk's gonna lean in a little bit and go. We might want to keep one thing.
What?
The radio.
Oh yeah.
I have the radio piece.
No,
Like
well, I
the
mean,
big
but
piece.
that means he
Oh, his
had
actual thing.
like
He had my radio. I'm
there was.
reneging
Wait.
that.
I mean, we had enough for
Wait.
everybody.
He had my handset, so I'm
Yes.
taking my handset back.
Wait, there is one thing.
Yes.
What?
I saw him pull it out on occasion. The wooden thing he seemed to like.
That's yours. Yeah. Oh, this is really disgusting for Gifted. She's gonna push the dryad heart over to him.
And he reaches out
Oh.
and he picks that up.
Oh, Cass is
Out of
kind of
character.
wide-eyeing that, going,
That's
"Oh,
the thing.
oh no."
I'm
As
so
far as
glad
he could tell, that was one of Valdir's most cherished possessions.
out of character, this is the best because that means.
Alright,
that
you
thing
do see
being killed
Gifted
is
making
still
a
living
face
on.
as she pushes it over.
RG will actually look at it and go, that's the heart of the dragon. One of our earliest encounters. It can be used to cast some rudimentary magic.
Oh,
Nature magic. Valdir really liked that it
Nature.
could do good things, even though it was one of many bad fae.
good out of the
And
bed.
Albric, I need to. I don't know when I'm gonna see you again,
Wait, what do you mean?
but I need you to pay really good attention to this, okay? Okay. If you ever see another fae, you do not talk to them. You do not let them lead you anywhere, okay?
He
You
nods
cannot
slowly.
trust fae.
I cannot trust most Fae. I trust you.
We will introduce you to her family, also.
As
Where
for
we're going.
intent, we are intending to send you to Dolpwood. We know a family of nobles there who should be able to help get you away from this, safe, get you an education, set you on the path to be able to do great things.
There's
And keep you in touch with us.
insight checks, please.
Gifton looks a little emotional, and she's gonna misty step away.
Okay.
Oh no, Misty Eyes and Misty Step.
I'm gonna go find some place to hide. I can't be here for this anymore.
When there's mention of him being sent away, you can see a brief pained look on his face, but it's then replaced with understanding as he nods slowly. You will keep in touch.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
We'll visit whenever we get the chance. For the love of me, I don't know. But
We have a lot of friends in that town.
Allie, one thing that is being left in the bag is my holy book.
Okay.
Because when we decided we were sending him, I would have made sure my holy book got moved into his bag.
He picks his back up because how am I going? Not by boat again yet, right?
Nope.
Horse.
Nope. Albrecht, I'd like you to meet my grandmother. Well, she's a little farther back generation-wise than just grandma. But
This is nice to meet you, Mom.
she's more than what she seems. We will.
One could say she is more than meets the eye.
Something kick Cass.
I'm a
Be
dragon, my
hard.
dear boy.
How did the centaur end up in the shredder?
The witch
And,
suddenly appeared.
You see her actually sort of do a slow crouch down to get more on his level, and you can see how much that causes her discomfort as well. But she does so and places a hand on his shoulder and goes, "I am a dragon, and you are in my charge. I will see you safe, and nothing will happen to you." And he looks a little taken aback, giving her a bit of a
Archie's
wide-eyed look, glancing over at the rest of you.
Archie's just going to very calmly, as she's taking a drink out of her flask, just go, none of that's an exaggeration, by the way.
He's since it hasn't been shown yet, Carrick's actually gonna roll back his sleeve and show off the scales. My father's side of the family is very special. But we are Archie and I are also coming along with you. We will not be able to stay, but we will introduce you to everybody and get you going with them.
Okay. Well, where are these little goblin friends of yours?
Just a second. Archie will just walk to the bottom of the stairs and just yell for the two of them. Can you put them down here, please?
After a moment, Corvus, you see Kex and EX sort of run from the room as RD calls for them. And Kerr gives you a look, Corvus, and could you give me a lift down?
Why couldn't we have gotten kobolds? This would work so much better with kobolds. Out of character.
Is Corvus there?
Corvus will stand up from his chair and offer a hand down to Care.
And he'll get up on your hand. Are you doing okay?
Just look at Care for a moment. There are more things happening than just my feelings.
Yeah.
And he walks downstairs.
You see the goblin sort of rushing downstairs, the rest of you, and soon Corvus follows with Care. Oh, aren't they darling little things? Right, and she reaches and she scoops Valdir up in her arms, holding him rather easily. And she starts to move towards one side of the tavern. Right, those coming with me. Here, please.
I'm gonna move over.
Archie will as well, and gesture. Help the two goblins. Come on.
What we do?
We're removing you guys from the line of fire because we don't want you to get killed on our behalf. So we're sending you with the boy or wherever we can get you that'll be safe for you.
Okay. And you can see them sort of looking up at Valdir's body and glancing at... Yes?
Has Corvus ever seen Ilyn?
Ilyn?
Ilyn? The grandmother?
Lynn.
Oh, Lynn.
Lynn.
Ilyn's the god.
God.
Ilyn's a god, right?
I mean,
Lynn.
maybe my grandmother
Have
is
you
a god.
seen
We just
Lynn?
don't know it.
I don't think I've
I
ever
don't
seen
think
Lynn.
I don't
No.
think it has. But
No.
coincidentally, I don't think they've ever been in the same room.
There's a strange woman holding Valdir's body.
Valdir's only seen her a couple times.
I mean, to be honest, Carrick's only seen her a couple times too. So I mean,
Considering that no one's doing anything, I take this is a friendly encounter.
This is Carrick's grandmother.
Lynn, a
I
pleasure
see.
to meet you.
Pleasure
Resemblance.
is mine.
Are you the boy's brother?
How many?
I'm his uncle.
Uncle. Oh, I will keep him quite safe. Alright, all of you. Hands on me, please.
We'll be back soon. As soon as we can. Thanks.
The goblins, like, really sort of nervously reach out and, like, touch her as little as they can.
It's fine.
And,
She won't eat you.
as Albrecht places his hand against Lynn, he looks at the rest of you and goes, thank you for everything. Goodbye, Uncle. Please.
Corvus will set Care down and lower down to his knee, drop his cane. Come here, Albrecht.
He glances at Lynn briefly, who just sort of nods her head, and he comes over and he actually hugs you.
And in the hug, Corvus will say to Albrecht in a whisper, "This will be taken care of without it. You have my word. You also have my word that I will find Lewis at Alas and ensure that what happened to our family will never happen to anyone else's."
You can feel him nodding sort of against his shoulder before he leans back a little bit. Please don't lose yourself in the meantime.
I have good friends around me now. I hope I will never see that part of me again. He'll bop his forehead onto his, and in Hexenreich, basically say, you take care of yourself, you keep your readings up, and you ensure that you help others.
He nods, and then you see him sort of, looks like he realizes something, and then he actually sort of opens up his collar a bit, unbuttons his shirt, and he reaches in and he pulls a locket out off from over his head, and he holds his chain out to you and goes, "You are coming back, and you will be inspecting me."
I will bring it back.
My father gave it to me to keep me safe, and it will keep you safe.
I'll point out it hasn't been keeping the kids safe.
This is
Not
what
gonna
attracts all the
mention
killers.
This is actually the violence magnet.
Do you take it?
Yes.
Right, you take it, and he gives you another quick hug before breaking away and moving back over to Lynn.
This slowly stands up.
And with a...
RJ gives a curt nod to Corvus.
Cass is going to make a statement before they disappear.
Mhm.
She's just going to go, "Remember, kid, keep your word. I don't think he wants to come back to kick your ass for not keeping it."
Who's that directed towards? The actual kid?
Yeah.
He looks a little taken aback briefly before a grim smile crosses his face, and he nods. Right. Well, goodbye, everybody. And then sort of smiles at the group of you, and then with that same sort of arcane crackle and pop, the group of them vanishes. And we are going to go into montage time.
Yep. And then as they disappear, RG turns around and goes, "So, Carrick and RG, what are you rolling as your next character?"
Alright, so over the next few days, the group traveling to Dulwood arrives safe and sound. The body of Valdir is placed into Argy's arms. And Argy, it's a heavy damn weight to carry, but you can manage it.
We're out first.
And then directs you to take him to Father Stone. and then she motions Carrick with her, and she takes the boy and the goblins to the Capes.
As we're rocking, we go see if she has any word on the Morgani priest when you see Father Stone before I wander off.
I told you he'd ask about this.
Yeah, I knew he would.
I know.
I mean,
Right, and there is a lot of weight, Carrick. Lynn takes the boy into the Capet household with the goblins, and she addresses the eldest Capet, and they go off into a room alone to talk together. Kalan goes in every now and then, but he mostly comes out and confers with you, asking what happened, how it all went down, how everyone's holding up.
go through with everything excluding the angel bit.
Okay. And
Hopefully
there
she
is a whole mix of emotions from Kalan. At first, he seems rather furious that you came so close to Father Aurel, and yet he slipped away. And he seems immensely remorseful that Faldir died in the process, and the boy was harmed in the process. RG?
Kind of was wearing a different face.
Oh yeah, you all know who the fuck it was, though.
Yeah.
RG, when you arrive at the temple, Father Stone doesn't seem entirely surprised. There was a brief message sent out that Lord Forgehammer had fallen, and of course it was relayed to those that knew him by the Capes. And he helps you take Faldir inside, and he just asks you to watch over him while he goes and fetches the Ilum Priestess. Back home, the day goes fairly uneventfully beyond the silence and grief that you're still feeling. Care tries to comfort you, gifting as best as he can, but you can tell he's hurting too. He's trying to keep it inside.
I'm trying not to lean on him too much. I'm trying to let him lean. But she's kind of not herself.
Yeah. Klopp comes down from the rafters eventually, and you can see here he just seems to be fixated on that table, and every now and then he moves towards the windows, the doors, as if wanting so desperately to go out there, but he stays put. As the day turns to night, the Ilum Priestess returns with Father Stone, and RG, you are asked whether they should go ahead with a Ilum funeral for him, or whether his body should be kept in mourning until you all return. Father Stone perfectly able to repeat the little trick that Puriel did, and he does not ask why this spell already seems to be in effect on Faldir. He just mentions that he could do this to keep Faldir ready for you all.
100 sessions later, we buried
Yeah.
out here.
Out of
frankly, I
character,
don't
I'm
know
scared
when-
about leaving his body someplace enemies of ours can
Yeah.
go get it.
I don't know when.
I mean, I will out of character say if we do him the Illen thing, it's just as accessible.
Well, I mean, they basically bury him in the ground and have trees planted on top of him. It's going to be a lot harder for them to dig him out, and also the trees will start breaking him down pretty quick.
It's a slower cremation.
And what did you say, RG? You broke up a bit.
She looked and went, honestly, I don't know when we'd be able to get back. We've got just so much crap to get done and things that we left unfinished and things that I think giving him the funeral, whether we're there or not, we can come to the grave after, bear respects.
He nods, and the Hidden Priestess goes, then we will choose an appropriately peaceful place for him.
We appreciate it.
and they let you go, starting to make arrangements between themselves.
I'll be right back.
Back at the Capet
Archie
mansion.
also,
Oh,
I was
yes.
gonna say, Archie will actually have made a point of putting the weapons she knew he used the most often with him.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, like the hand axe and the hammer that seem to be his weapons of choice.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Okay. Does this include the magical hammer?
the magic hammer she's keeping, she's using that as kind of her conduit of remembering him.
Okay. Okay. Did you want to follow up on Carrick's little Morgani priestess?
Archie would probably ask in passing.
Father Stone will mention that he does not know much about it, but last he heard, she was still missing.
She'll thank him and get ready to go back to the Capet household.
Okay. In the Capet household, Carrick,
Yes.
eventually both Kalan and the eldest Capet, who I'm struggling to remember the first name of right now, emerge. Capet. Emerge. The eldest Capet looks a little frustrated, but you see him with his hand very gently on the boy's shoulder. And Kalan comes up to you and goes, they are welcome here.
Myas, by the way.
Myas, thank you.
Myas, Lucian, and Callan.
Yeah. And Kalan comes up to you, Carrick, and says, the boy is more than welcome here. We will take him as a ward of our house until he's old enough to make his own way. And his goblin guards are welcome to remain as well.
Thank you. This is a lot off our minds.
Put them in forge hammer colors.
Your
He didn't have colors.
Yet.
Colors of his armor.
I don't even know what colors
He
armors
mostly
were.
wore gray.
Silver and blue.
Silver and gray. Fucking whatever.
Yeah.
your grandmother tells me that she needs to return with you fairly quickly to her pools.
Yes, she's probably to rest on her end.
Okay, well, I'll inform Margie where you've gone, I suppose.
Oh, this is more. Oh God, I'm in so much trouble.
You are
Out
in
of character.
trouble.
I was thinking this was take both of us back to rest so we can go back there. Oh God, this is worse than that.
And Lynn places her hand on your shoulder, Carrick, and leans in, whispers in your ear, say goodbye to the boy. We will return in a few days.
Okay. Yes, please let Archie know. She'll probably enjoy being able to see Marissa for a little while.
And Kalan nods, and Albert comes up to you, Carrick, and he sort of offers his hand out.
Going to.
You can still see he looks a little tearful, still all the same.
My lord.
It's Albrecht.
Just getting down at him.
I see why he did not like it.
Yes, I figured you would. But yes, they're good people here. Which one's your Capet? Which Capet, Callan?
Callan?
If possible, Callan, can you make sure that you can't say name today.
Albrecht?
Albrecht meets
Gifton's family?
Gifton's family, please.
Of course, we'll introduce him as soon as possible.
Thank you very much. I guess I will be seeing you in a few days.
He nods, and he then turns his head to Lynn and goes, "Right, and we will have our arrangement written up when you return. And she smiles at him and sort of pulls you by your shoulder a little bit back towards Carrick.
Wait, she's pulling me back towards myself?
Towards her.
Okay.
Yeah.
I turned, she's pulling your shoulder back towards Carrick, and I'm like,
And then,
So in
with
trouble.
that crackle and pop, you vanish from the Capet household.
ow, my ears.
RG, when you arrive back at the Capet household, seems Callan is in the sitting room. You're led straight in to them, with the goblins there as well. There's a few servants around serving up some, looks like supper for the boy. And Callan just sort of beckons you over.
Roger just wave and kind of sit and slip down into a chair. Just, how you doing?
I'm doing much better than you, I imagine. I'm so sorry.
Probably.
Are his arrangements being taken care of?
Yeah, they're gonna give him an Illan funeral.
He nods briefly and goes, we will cover whatever costs there are.
I can't keep asking you to cover things for us. We're already asking a lot of you.
Well, it seems we are getting more and more entwined. Carrick has gone off with his great, however many it is, grandmother. They said they'll be back in a few days to collect you.
Yeah, I kind of figured I was getting ditched here.
Well, if you don't
Didn't
want
think
to
we
find
could do it there and back and all that without a break.
if you don't want to find a room, well, we'll put you up in the guest room here if you wish.
I probably got somebody I can stay with, honestly.
Okay. Well, we will take good care of the boy.
I thank you again for that.
So, at least let us serve you supper. It must have been a tiring day.
That's a bit of an understatement, but yeah.
And you are given food at the Capes. Back at the Coalfleet. As night falls, things don't get as dark as they should. There seems to be a vague orangish light coming in through the windows.
What's going on outside?
Cass is grabbing her armor and just going in her standard tunic and whatnot, and grabbing Tempest and going, I get this weird feeling we're going to have a problem.
What?
And she opens the door.
As you step out, you can see this slight orange haze in the city, seemingly originating from a few blocks over, and you can see that faint licking of flames in the air, and in distance you can hear incomprehensible but shouts and yells, perhaps for assistance.
Fire.
Fire.
Cass is yelling back into the inn, fire! And she's running as hard as she can.
Okay.
Gifton looks on, very helpless, as she has nothing.
Running toward the fire or running away from the fire?
Running to
Can't
the
help
fire.
with fire.
And Kay just sort of squeezes your hand a bit, Gifton. Cass, as you run down the streets, you slowly approach and the sound becomes louder, more audible. What sounds like yells of fire, people yelling to try and get buckets, that kind of shit, mingled with angry yells of a crowd and the shouted demands of guards to keep back. And as you come around, you can see one of the minor temples in the city ablaze, and a sort of angry mob surrounding it. Stones being held at the temple, some at guards who are trying to cordon it off while also trying to arrange for water to be brought through.
Cass is listening to the murmurs to try and get a feel of what's going on.
Give me a perception check. Okay, so you start to distinguish a few things. There are people that seem to be angry about the church striking out at an innocent boy. There are people accusing the church of having been taking an iron fist over the last few years, of pushing people down, taking away their freedoms. You hear, and you're not entirely sure how they know his name exactly, but you do hear people shouting for Albrecht. And on the other side, you hear
To
guards.
be fair, I did yell Albrecht when he got hit.
On the other side, you do hear guards trying to calm things down. They're trying to get people back from the fire, yelling, it's not safe, please move back, until one guard is struck in the head by a rock. And he angrily lashes out and actually, no, your perception's fine enough for that. And it's a familiar face. It was a ever so shitty racist guard that you saw on the docks.
This is gonna go bad.
And he lashes out with his sword.
Cass is going to try and intervene.
Well, I'm afraid that's going to be a bit hard as you saw this coming around the corner. But you can start rushing over there if you want.
Yeah.
And you see this guard lash out at somebody in front of them with their sword. And that part of the mob turns angry. Suddenly there is pushing and shoving, yells of just pure anger. And that guard is yanked from the line, even as his fellows trying to pull him back.
Like I said, Cass is going to intervene. She's going to push, shove, and toss people if need be to get them off of him.
Okay, you start pushing inside. Give me a strength check, please.
Just straight strength?
But I imagine you're not trying to attack people, are you?
No, it's grab by collar and huck into crowd.
Yeah. Okay, you are easily able to sort of barrel your way through these people, shoving them aside, pulling the people out of place. And then, as you start to get near him, you feel a blade pierce your flank. Doesn't feel like you've been stabbed a few times. It feels like a rather dull blade, but it sinks in, and it hurts a lot. As Ali rolled a fucking natural 20.
It went to the bone.
Cursed alley dice.
Thankfully, these guys aren't. So you take 13 points of damage. You feel, fuck me, that was a good roll. You feel this piercing, and you feel blood running back down the back of your neck. And you are now being yelled at and accosted, pulled on by people who think you are trying to help the guard. But you are. You are being called a Talan lover, a traitor to the people, all kinds of lovely things. A horse.
And I'm going to continue to move through until I can grab the guard.
Okay.
I'm hauling him up by the chin guard of his armor.
As you pull him up, you see that his face is split in multiple places where he's been hit and punched repeatedly. His helmet only going to actually bite into his flesh, as that can happen. And he is in a very bad state.
And as I pick him up, I'm going to walk him over to the guard line. I'm going to hand him over. And I'm going to look at whoever grabs him, and I go, I assume you're going to deal with that. And then she's going to wheel around at the crowd, stomp once, iron hoof on marble. I assume it might be loud. I would hope.
Not marble, it's just cobblestone here, but yeah.
Loud enough to catch attention.
I mean, not particularly. There is so much raucous noise.
Yeah.
There is rocks hitting metal armor. There's fucking a blazing fire and a loud crashing as the roof of the temple collapses.
Cass is going to keep herself interposed between the two sides.
Okay, they are going to push around you. The
Anytime one of the peasants or townfolk try to get close enough to brawl, she's going to toss them back into the crowd.
Okay, but you cannot cover the entire line. You can certainly
Nope,
force a little bit of a stalemate where you are.
And she's going to try and calm things down the best she can. If she keeps hearing Albrecht, she's just going to go, Albrecht is safe and gone.
Okay, I'm going to take that into account.
Gone might not be the best word.
Meanwhile, back in the tavern,
Mhm.
Gifton's leaning on Care, staring at the open tavern door, and goes, I think Cassie would have closed the door if she'd been a little slower.
You see clocked form creep across the ceiling, going down above the door frame, and then lashing the door closed, like his actual arms go across it.
Thank you, Clop. I'm so glad you don't abandon us.
Right. Cass, your efforts to calm the crowd, well, make a couple of people sort of like reconsider what they're doing. You do see people trying to sort of break out of the crowd, which is always a little tricky in a situation. But rather than the entire thing dying down, it seems to spread, and you can see a little lick of flame off in the distance as something seems to be happening in another part of the city. And through the night, the riot spreads. Over the next few days.
And Cass is
I might come
going
down
to wear
back to no
herself
fucking
ragged,
town.
trying to keep things, trying to help calm things down.
Alright. Over the next few days. Carrick?
Corvus would like
Yes.
to do stuff.
What would you like to do, Corvus?
For
I kind of rolled over you because you didn't volunteer to go out with Cass or such. I assumed you were staying in the tavern.
Right, yeah, he's staying in the tavern for a
Oh, you want to do stuff over the next few days, bit.
Yes.
I will get to you.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I think I know what you want to do.
Perfect.
Carrick,
Yes.
your grandmother takes you back to her lair.
And you are never seen again.
Thaldir had wanted all along.
You appear quite near her lovely big radiant pool, and she sort of releases you and just starts to walk off deeper into the cavern. And as she does, you see her form suddenly shift, returning to its natural shape, which is accompanied by a rather large displacement of air and such.
Yes.
But soon there is a
I've been here for this before.
big ancient dragon who just sort of leans her head back round slowly to look at you. Follow.
Yes, ma'am. Follow.
You just keep finding yourself in trouble, don't you?
Yes, unfortunately.
You're not going to stop, are you?
I need to be there for my friends.
Do you know how many times I've heard that story?
Probably a lot.
More times than I wish to. You know what it always ends up in?
Death.
Yes, me losing someone I care about. And I always try to stop them. I always try to push them away from what they want to do. And it never, ever works. So this time I'm going to try something different. And you see her approaching a very big hoard of items. The ever so traditional pile of golden coins mixed with goblets, treasure chests, all that kind of jazz. And she just very, very lazily digs a claw in and starts to push stuff out of the way. It's a cacophonous racket.
Be killed by buried under treasure.
Yeah. And
Worst ways to die.
and you watch her search through this pile for a couple of minutes.
She's looking for your father's cradle, and she's gonna put you in it.
You stay here now.
I was actually expecting just a giant golden cage, but
And Then she pulls out a rather large chest,
Oh my.
eyebrow waggle, which between two claws is then just put down and it falls thump in front of you. So I'm going to arm you, not with blade or fire or anything of the such. You have enough weapons. I am going to arm you with something you very desperately need to survive, and that is knowledge.
Knowledge is very important.
In
Corvus squirms.
Yeah. In here are so many tomes I've collected through my life. Language, anatomy, animals, creatures, magic. I don't know if you'll be able to understand all of them. I don't know if all of them will help, but they are yours.
This means a lot, Grandma.
Keep them close to yourself. There are librarians that would probably kill to get their hands on some of these books.
I understand. There. Whatever happened to that one book, by the way, Allie?
Which one?
They kept it, didn't they? Or did I keep it? The Enochian.
I believe they kept
think
it.
they did.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say. Okay.
Yeah, Liz, I remember you were able to only check it while you were there.
That's what I thought.
Somewhere in here there should be a book on the infernal tongue. Be very careful reading it.
I will. I've definitely don't want to befall of those.
No more angel pacts. No devil pacts. No fae pacts. Don't even sign a contract with the government.
What about...
Don't
No.
pay taxes, do
Gifted's
crime.
okay, right?
No
Is he
pacts.
around? Okay, no packs. That I can do. Just say, please don't tell me I have to stay away from Gifted.
No, I think she's one of your best bets of surviving, fool boy.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a lot smarter than I am.
I was trusting Fowler to lead you to safety, but, well,
I think we all were.
I am very tired.
I'm gonna do the closest I can to a hug, because giant dragon.
I understand your pain.
You hug her. You're going for a muzzle, neck hug, foreleg.
I don't know if I want to be by the teeth right now.
Okay, so a foreleg hug.
Yes.
Yeah. One sort of large digit sort of pats you on the back slightly, and she sort of gestures off towards. I mean, it's very dark in certain parts of this cavern, and it's very large. She sort of gestures off in the direction and goes, "Over there should be some enchanted box that produces food. I'm sure you can find it.
Thank you, Grandma.
I will take you home tomorrow."
Thank you.
And
I'm going to reach into my bag and pull out a ring.
yes.
It's not as nice or as useful as the one you gave me, but a half dragon back in Dulwood taught me how to do jewelry, so
You are seeing other half dragons.
we were looking for someone to make Gifton's wedding ring. And
Do
ran
you like
into
them?
him.
Oh, him.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't expecting to see another clutch anyway.
You never know what might happen. But yes, but I would like you to have this one. And I'm pulling the 18 I made out on the check.
Okay.
And
She
it's nothing that can repay what you've done, but
takes it from you very, very gingerly. You know, two large claws trying to pinch this tiny ring.
Oh my god, you just gave her macaroni arm.
You did. That's exactly what you just did. Oh. You see her sort of lift it up in front of one of her eyes as if examining it closely. And then she turns back towards her horde, and it's a little hard, but she seems to be putting it up very high and very delicately on some other pieces there, making sure it's visible. And she seems quite pleased with where she puts it. And
That was the fridge.
she leans back her head back down around to you and goes, "It means more to me than you know, boy. Thank you."
You're welcome. I'm not as good with jewelry as Gifton's with
Oh,
clothes.
it's very, very good.
I'm imagining like patting the dog. Good boy.
No, it's like your little house drawing is adorable. I love it.
Yeah, pretty much.
You should,
Grandma's so proud.
you should practice more. I'm sure you will be very, very good.
That's the hope. I think all of us kind of want to. We've got our we've got our skills and other things than getting into trouble. Just those seem to be the most commonly used ones lately.
Well, try to exercise your other skills for once.
I'm gonna pretty soon try to make a painting of Thaldir for Arvardo.
Oh, I'm sure you can find some supplies around here. And she, with a sort of groan, starts to lumber back towards her pool. And you see her sort of wade into it. Doesn't seem too deep near the shoreline, but she rests her form down into it, spreading her wings out, her head and her forelegs just resting on the shore. I'm going to sleep for a bit now.
I understand, Grandma.
You be good. And she closes her eyes and seems to rather quickly drift off to sleep.
She doesn't sink, does she?
No.
Okay. Just imagining like the.
Her head goes under and you just start to see bubbles emerging.
Just like, is that supposed to happen, or do I need to save her now? If I wake her up, I'm probably gonna be eaten.
Corvus. Corvus?
I didn't kill him.
Ah,
Hello.
hello.
Alright.
Coughing up lungs is not fun.
So, next day comes around. There is riots in the streets. Guards seem to be trying to quell it, trying to calm it, but it is getting worse. Temples being set ablaze in each block. There's some looting going on, as there always is. Biggest contingent of guards seem to actually be surrounding the main church and guarding the port. So far, your street does not seem to be particularly affected, although every now and then a crowd does move by, chanting for Albrecht, freedom for Colthwaite, remove the tyranny of the church. But it's peaceful enough in the inn. Given the innkeep does come back the next day, looking a little haggard, a little worried.
I will have spent whatever part of the night I could with care trying to clean up the mark on the floor.
Yeah. I also say, you see the innkeep coming past the windows. Before he comes in.
Clop, you gotta be normal. Clop, you gotta be normal.
Okay.
Out in the stables, Clop.
You see Klopp sort of shudder a bit, and then he surges off into the back kitchens.
No. Ooh, that's. Oh.
I don't know why, but I just want to see this innkeep go, hello, just kind of wander back into the kitchen, and here's this tentacle beast making breakfast.
I'll go try and get him hidden. Kess says to you.
Yep.
Dingus. And he's actually going to hop up on Dingus, who looks a little indignant by this, but meeps and flaps off after Klopp.
Yeah.
And the innkeep unlocks the door and comes in, and I'd say you've managed to remove most of the marking on the floor.
Yeah.
Okay, town's going to hell.
Yeah, just a bit. There was a lot of burning and yelling. It was really kind of scary, and the guards never came last night. We got our kid and The body moved, though. My friends were taking it to a temple outside town. It seems like the temples in town are mostly on fire.
Yes, and I am going to be vacating. I suggest you do the same if your child is safe. The body's gone. Good.
Here's your key. So I guess you need us out.
He ponders for a moment and goes,
Unless you mind if we rent the place from you for a little while.
I tell you what, if you can stop my place from burning down while I'm gone, we'll consider it even.
Yeah. Sure. I'll do my best.
Right, I need to grab my things from my room, and he starts heading towards the back kitchen.
Just one question though.
He turns back to face you, sort of hands on his hips.
Where exactly you get
And as you're speaking to him, you see Dingus flap out, Care motioning to a form, and then you see Klopp climbing out of the top of the doorframe onto the ceiling very slowly, very quietly.
Where exactly do you buy your stuff for the stables? And so we could. Is there anybody in town we could buy
Who isn't on fire?
things from? I mean, it would be horrible if the ceiling were just not full of things to feed the horses.
Well, I get my stuff from a farm on the outskirts, by the third quadrant.
Well, yeah. Well, let me walk with you into the kitchen, and we can talk about it in there.
Well, okay. And
Yeah.
as he starts to move, Klopp's claw scrapes against the woodwork, and you see him starting to turn his head back.
Shit. I'm going to sneeze and thaumaturgy ground rumbling.
Okay. He suddenly puts his arms out, standing very still.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've got a little bit of a fake cold, and I make weird noises. I'm so sorry.
That's a fake cold?
Yeah, don't worry, only Faye can get it, so it's fine.
Right, I'll go get my stuff on my own. And he's gonna quickly hurry up back. And Care motions to Klopp to follow him very frantically, and Klopp quickly hurries, not using the stairs himself, but just going through that slight slope in the ceiling. Goes upstairs.
Going up?
Yes.
I'm sorry, this is entertaining just imagining this. Just like,
It was
It's an appropriate bit of comedy.
Oh,
A little bit of levity.
Yeah. Yeah, I will run defense until the guy leaves.
Yeah, and soon enough he seems to have packed up a couple of bags, and he nods at you as he leaves.
Yeah.
Because you gave him 5 flat, you've already paid plenty of rent.
I will fake another face sneeze as he heads out.
Oh, please don't rumble my building to the ground.
Oh, don't worry. It's about the most I can do. It's just whew. The smell of burning buildings really gets to my nasal passages.
And again, while I'd like to have guards, I really recommend you leave. It's getting worse out there.
Yeah. Well, I can't leave until the others get back.
Well, I wish you well. And he's going to
Good
head
luck.
out the door, close it behind him, and you see him running off down the street.
Jesus Christ. Klopp, it's clear.
Klopp slowly sort of crawls around again and comes down to the floor.
Why is it that every time that you are doing this, I have to do something demeaning to me?
Corvus.
Yes.
So there was a little bit of hubbub downstairs, but nothing major. You
He's
saw.
not paying attention to
Yeah.
it.
Imagine you're investigating something.
The first night, when Cass left, Corvus would have went upstairs, shut the door. Didn't bar it, but just shut the door.
Doors don't stop brownies.
Yeah, that's true. Removed his glove. Removed the item in the bottle, the little crystal tendril thingy.
Mm-hmm.
You were so interested in that cane. You came from those backward people. So there has to be something to do with you with it. Pops the cork
Mhm.
and puts it in his hand.
Okay, so the crystal and its silver filigree falls into your hand. Immediately, you feel it starting to move along your palm, as if trying to head towards where have you got your cane?
Cane is by the edge of the bed.
Yeah.
It's
It's
sort of leaning
distant,
on the.
so this ball doesn't feel particularly strong, but you can just feel it rocking slightly in your hand.
He'll keep the hand upturned and hold it over the cane
Okay.
head,
Yep.
and then turn his hand over quickly, like you're turning a water cup,
Mm-hmm.
and putting his hand on the cane as it's still in his palm.
Okay. You place your hand down on the cane, and you feel that silver filigree that's just sort of dangling spark, and that gem suddenly feels a lot warmer in your palm, and it just seems to be reacting to the cane.
And he'll let go of it.
Are you leaving the gem against the cane?
On the cane, yeah.
On the cane? It just seems to be there, crackling. You can see the silver filigree seems to be little sparks arcing off from it as if seeking.
Seeking what?
Don't know.
He just put his hand over it again.
You put your hand back over it, and those sparks start playing against your flesh. It doesn't hurt. Just a little tingly.
He'll retract his hand, remove a scalpel,
Mm-hmm.
and slice down the center of his palm.
Okay, you slice down the center of your palm. Blood starts to run, of course.
Holds it back over.
When you do that, that silver filigree, those arcing sparks, go straight for that cut, as if trying to arc in, and you can feel it playing against your nerves, and you are getting a muddied feedback in your mind. It's not clear. Doesn't seem to be any particular sense to it, but with that little distance from it, you can feel something.
He will place his hand directly on the pommel of the staff or cane and clutch down on it so the pressure of the blood soaks down the cane.
Okay, you push your hand down, and that much closer to the gem and the silver that's attached to it. That weird feedback in your head, it gets a bit clearer, but it's not quite clear enough. That silver working, those threads, almost like a nervous system, just aren't close enough.
It was in his arm, wasn't it?
It was in his arm.
He will retract his hand, bandage it up, take the crystal off the cane, put it somewhere. I don't have a third arm. Take his scalpel out again, cinch off his arm, slice down the top of his arm, and then put the crystal on the cut.
Okay.
And then uncinch the binding.
Right. One, blood begins to pour.
Yeah.
Two, you put the crystal against that cut, and that same pull you'd felt towards staff, you feel that pressing down into your arm as if it's trying to get its way in.
We'll thumb the crystal against the cut, forcing it into it.
Okay, you start to press it in to your forearm, and that sparking as some of that silver sort of slips in with the cut, with the crystal, that feedback's becoming a lot more clear. Like you can feel as if it's part of you, this crystal in your arm, and you can feel a strange, almost hard to describe. It's like the air itself is a field that you can feel.
We'll keep pressing down.
And you press it deeper and deeper, the silver flicking in, and then there is a sudden. You're in a lot of pain already, because this is not a pleasant thing to do.
No, no.
But there is a sudden stabbing pain as that silver wirework slips fully into your arm,
He's
and
probably biting down on something.
and suddenly starts to move on its own accord, pressing through the rest of your flesh, weaving amongst muscle, working its way around, and seeming to work into your hand. And then suddenly, you are aware. You are aware of the very fabric of reality. Each point in space is connected to each other point in space, and you can just feel it clearly, how to get from there to there without even taking a step. All you need is the right tool. And is your cane calling to you?
He will have his eyes closed, probably still pain, biting down on whatever he had, and reach for the cane.
Alright, you reach out, you take your cane, and that energy ceases. There's no more sparking, no more coursing little lightning bolts going through your flesh, but seem to channel into the cane, and you can feel the heat of its hilt, and it feels so much more potent.
Yeah, when he lets go of the cane, does the previous effects persist?
They're not as intense, but you're still quite aware.
Knowing that, he's going to rush over to the book, flip it open, his father's book.
Okay.
And start reading it with every ounce of vigor that he has. If he misses sleep, he misses sleep.
Right, and that's how you'll be spending your days. Okay. Eventually, Carrick, you are taken back to Dolwood to collect RG. RG, I imagine you go off looking for Marissa?
She probably spent at least the night there just fucking sitting nearly unresponsive.
Your landlord tells you that she's not there. Well, Marissa's landlord, I should say.
She goes, where is she?
Oh, off on some little journey with some friends she met. Said she shouldn't be more than a couple of weeks.
You know, your sending stone is with her.
Didn't we have the time for switching back by this point?
We were gonna need to, but I didn't think we had.
You can try the sending stone if you want.
RG will actually try this and he's going, Marissa, are you there?
Who was the switchback?
The switchback was Gifton's family.
You hear the voice of Edward going, no, Marissa dropped this out with us a few days ago.
RG will just kind of frown a bit and then we'll actually have gone
like
back
you
to
can
your
do
pace
anymore.
and go, actually, can
I'll
I
take up your offer.
Yeah.
The Craze will house you, and after a full day, the next day, it's about nighttime again. Lynn actually takes Carrick back to collect you, RG. And she appears right in the pay courtyard, which causes some startlement. And she'll come in and she'll tell you that unless there's any other business to attend to, you'll be coming with her and Carrick.
I got nothing else here.
Right. And
She will have, out of character, she will have spent part of that time they're just continuing to talk with Albrecht, and part of what she did is basically beseech the boy that one thing to do as a favor for her is get lessons on how to wield a weapon.
Okay. You'll do that. At some point, Father Stone does come around and tell you that, all the arrangements are complete. Valdir will be having his funeral in a couple of days, as is tradition. There is always a brief period of...
How much money was the funeral for us to pay?
He does not say. He does not even mention it. And soon enough, you are taken back to Lynn's lair, along with Carrick. Carrick, you notice that teleport straight after the day of wrestling in her pool seemed to drain her more. When you return back to the lair, she's even more tired, and she sort of asks you to take care of Argy and moves straight to the pool again.
I'm gonna make sure he's taking care of them. I'm gonna go back to Grandma.
Argy will actually apologize. Sorry for you're so bad.
It's no worry.
I mean, it is. Look at what it's doing you, for God's sakes.
Anything for you. But I need to sleep.
Should have stayed by the pool.
Okay. And you watch your grandmother sort of rest soundly.
I'm sorry, Blackheart. I should have never said we used her.
Argy will be quietly shadowboxing in the corner.
The disrest in Winden? Oh no, not Winden.
Yeah.
Oh, it's spread.
Oh, no, it has spread.
And Gulfweight continues.
Everywhere's on fire.
At one point, the door is bashed against. You can see people in the window. Looks like rioters now trying to pick up on the street. And they are quickly scared away as Klopp inside flares himself out. Maws and teeth gnashing not at the windows, but very near them. And the building's quickly left alone.
And we'll be left alone once the guy comes back.
Best horse that ever has been a horse.
Cassie, do you continue your efforts trying to assist around the city?
Yeah.
As you,
Cass is thinking this is her fault, so she's doing what she can.
it's very tiring. You keep pushing yourself. You do go back and you try and help where you can. At this point, it is mostly trying to drag people that are being hurt and trying to be uninvolved out of danger. On both sides, there are people just trying to quell things, trying to stay out of the line of fire. The guards trying not to harm too many people, most of them at least. You do see on occasion some spectacular violence, overzealous. And a couple of times you even see altercations between guards themselves, guards pulling other guards back. It seems like...
If you send anybody back to us, Cass, me and Cora should probably take care of them. Anybody hurt?
Cass isn't even thinking that right now.
Because I will offer to help anybody, but I don't know if I'll see anybody.
I honestly don't think Cass has been back to the inn.
No.
And on the third day, there is the sound of feet marching down the street towards the tavern, far more organised this time. You see Klopp sort of readying himself, Gifton.
Klopp, you that sounds like guards or somebody. You need to pretend to be a horse in the stables. If you hear anything, come save me, okay?
Klopp watches you briefly before he slowly ekes his way out, trying to be sneaky, subtle, returning to the stables. And what you see moving outside the window is definitely not the city guard. Seems to be a few men in a blue uniform. You can see that they're armoured, carrying a mix of... Some of them have rifles, some of them have shields. And there is a knock on the door.
I am going to stare at this door. And then I'm going to use thaumaturgy. Corvus, I can't open the front door!
Corvus, you have been up for a couple of days now. Your eyes bleary. You have surrounded by scribbled notes, trying to quickly crack through the cipher. Your arm hurts like fucking hell. And you hear Gifton yelling from downstairs.
He passed out on his book.
Corvus? There's no Corvus.
Alright.
Alright, Corvus is going to be autopiloted down.
Nope. Sorry. He lets out a frustrated groan and throws his chaos of papers in a stack, lays it on top of his book, looks at his probably still gashed arm with dried blood and
Corvus,
gabbing.
are you dead?
No! And
There's someone
Thump,
knocking at
thump,
the door.
thump.
grabs his cane and
I'm gonna
hurries
go
down.
peek under the door.
He's coming as he's wrapping his arm in
Alright, I'm gonna
loose
peek under
bandage.
the door because I think I can.
You peek under the door, and you see a whole lot of boots, including a pair of boots standing right at the door. Hello?
Hi, I'll hold up the key. I can't open it.
Oh,
Corvus opens the door.
Oh,
Yes.
hello. Okay, yes, you
Oh,
seem like the right
yeah.
ones. Tarnstead Trading Company?
VR.
Right, I am Lieutenant Dawson.
I hold my hands up. Are we under arrest?
No.
Hello,
I'm-
Lieutenant Dawson.
Yes, Lieutenant Dawson, Brassy and Third, Artillery. We've been pulled away from our usual jobs to come try and get this under control. But first I was supposed to bring something to you.
What is it?
Delivery from General Rosell. You! Get over here, machine. How then?
Yes.
Why don't you introduce yourself?
All right. So I'm a giant chicken.
What do you see? Is an armored, feathered.
No. They
No.
call it a cluck forge.
Somehow it produces eggs. We don't know.
He just loves him immediately.
Fuck off, beep boop, fuck off.
So you see a large, although somewhat thin, frame of armor with very high shoulder pads, well polished, gleaming gold with some silver inlays, and some darker, almost leather, almost looks like it's wearing a cape, appears to be flowing the wind.
I have a similar thing
And-
like that too.
A large, almost horn sticking out from the top front
Oh
of
my gosh,
the
is that a
helmet.
unicorn?
Out of character, didn't we fight a unicorn or help a
No, we
unicorn?
saw a unicorn very
We saw
briefly,
one.
but I'm willing to believe more things are unicorns than just what I saw, because Klopp might be a unicorn.
To be fair, maybe unicorns are just defined by having a.
All I know is single horde creature. It could be.
It's a it's a warforged man, deployed off the line early to assist you.
Warforge.
Can I make a check?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and make a history check. There is no such thing as a warforged. You have no idea what that is.
With a 21?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you, but why are we getting him?
I have no idea. I assumed you had connections.
Who sent this?
General
Some
Rosell.
general.
General Rosell.
At least it's signed on his orders.
I don't know anybody by that name.
I don't.
All right. Well, why don't you come in with us? Do your folks need any place to? We have the tavern to ourselves. If you guys need some place to stay.
We'll keep that in mind if our medics need anywhere to sequester people. Thank you.
Also, I do magical healing, and Corvus here's a trained medic. If you need anything.
Right, good.
Yes.
That we will keep that in mind. Thank you. Right.
There is something else. She's been
Back
missing
up really
for
good
a
hitting
while.
stuff.
There is a centaur, Cassiopeia,
Steel shot.
still shot.
Still,
Yeah,
I
she was out. She ran out during when the fire started the first night, and we haven't seen her.
still shot.
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, at least there's one of them left. Okay.
What do you,
We'll keep an eye out for her.
okay.
And
Thank you.
he gives you a curt nod, and there is a quick clip of his heels together as he pops a salute, and he's
Gifton jumps back a little bit because she's right down there when that happens.
he leads his men off, leaving this great big armored-looking figure standing there.
The
Uh,
large
so do we-
armored figure salutes and holds the salute as the soldier leaves.
So Mr. Warforge, I guess come inside.
I am designation
You're a designation?
autonomous resilient mechanical soldier unit 2.
Okay, we need to come up with a better name for him.
Your name's
Uh,
Otto.
What
I
do you?
have been referred to by
Hey, why don't we
alternate
call him you too?
designation Tell.
He's Unit 2. Why don't we call him U2?
Gifton.
He just gave me his designation.
Oh,
Enough
dude,
sugar.
I'm
okay.
striking the U2 comment off of the record.
I can't help it that he chose Unit 2.
You were called or designated as Tell. Yes?
Alternate designation, yes.
All right, we're going to
Correct.
use that one because the other one was a bit too long when things are getting out of hand.
Also,
Alright.
alternate designation Tell Day. Also, alternate designation Tell On. Also,
Oh,
alternate designation, and he says a large number of swear words in Hexenreich.
I
That's
beg
gonna
your
be great
pardon.
when two of us can understand that. Unfortunately,
All
not
right, well,
very.
Corvus, this looks like your new friend. I'm gonna go check on Clop.
Okay. Please tell. Sit down if you like.
Mm-hmm.
He will immediately sit down outside because he never came inside the building.
Also, because this is like 2 days out, right? They haven't come
Yep.
back. I'm taking out the sending stone because I have the sending stone to pay.
Mhm.
I don't mean to be a pressure at all, but we sent everybody to you guys, and Cuthwait's on fire, and it's just me and Corvus now in the tavern.
Tell.
I'm getting a little worried.
Please.
Help.
A little work and
Yeah.
Carrick and Lynn collected RG yesterday. Lynn said needs rest period, should be there soon.
Yeah, so basically they know Cuthwait's on fire.
Yes. Please
But
be
we don't.
safe.
Tell. Please stand up. Come inside.
Tell stands up and then walks inside. But like 2 feet inside the door.
Okay. Tell.
Robot all over again.
How
I was worried about it. 000110.
how
The minute
how,
you faltered on the name, I was fucking worried.
how much do you have to follow direct orders all this?
No.
Okay. You can stop doing that. We are not in the military. We are an adventuring company.
Oh no, they don't have laws of robotics yet. Yeah, you've just been given orders from people that are your superiors that you don't have to follow orders anymore.
Oh no, or laws of robotics are gone. No! The
Just
chains are
continue
free!
Standing there.
Okay.
What
Catches
may
fire.
be a blank stare because
Hey,
it's not
Corvus,
like he has
you think it's still
eyelids
safe to
or-
bring Clop back in? Or is that gonna
Leave.
freak this guy out?
Leave Club. hidden for now. I don't know what this is about yet. Okay.
Okay.
What?
Hi, mister. Do you like any kind of foods?
Oh God, that people can cook.
I do not
Gift.
eat.
Gift.
What?
Gifton. Let me determine what this is about first before we start.
Well, he was sent by some General Razel, so I
Right.
mean,
And I want to know who
who
General
knows a
Roselle
freaking
is
general?
and why General Roselle is sending us a
The
war form.
Did you just get it? Did you just get it?
I didn't actually catch the name until this time. I'll be honest. I
Yeah.
just didn't.
That's why I started laughing like an idiot
I've
the first
been-
time she said it.
I'm pretty sure. I'm like one of the.
I'm
two
just
can't
gonna
actually
say,
catch this.
right? Our Mirror's Angel is not very sneaky at all.
No, he's not.
No. All right.
Okay, tell. You were sent to us by General Roselle, yes?
That is what I have been told.
I don't
Did
think he
you-
knows anything, Corvus.
What are your
We've never met a robot before.
I know.
This is new. He's a person.
I'm thinking soldier. What are
What
your
were your orders?
What are your orders? Yes.
To accompany you.
Where?
To accompany you.
Okay. Yes, that is his orders to accompany us.
Do you mean like a company, like, and she like air guitars?
No,
Or do you
Gifton.
mean like? Oh.
He is in a company of us. He is to travel with us. He is to
Oh.
be a part of
Way
what
way
we
more
are.
fun.
It was going to be more fun, yes.
Yeah.
Please
Mind
explain.
you,
Looks
it's-
down at Gifton.
It's when you make sounds that work in a harmony together. You know, accompaniment.
Please explain.
I would show you, but I don't accompany well with Corvus's viola.
Please explain.
Yeah,
Viola? I need a violin.
he has a violin.
Viola.
Yeah, he has a
It's a
viola.
viola.
I thought I said viola. Did I not?
You
say
did.
viola?
Yeah, I said he had a violin.
No,
I thought-
viola.
Viola. All right, Corvus, get out your viola.
Fine.
All right.
It reaches in.
So you play, and then I'll accompany you.
Okay. Mind you, Gifton, his forearm and palm of his left arm is heavily bandaged.
Corvus, have you been cutting?
That is a different topic that needs to be discussed at a later
All right,
date.
well, I'm doing my daily song at this point then, because you need some fucking healing.
And okay, tell she is going to sing. I am going to accompany her with this viola.
Alright. There we go.
Alright, come on, Corvus. Roll yours.
Fuck yeah!
The one
Harmony,
time.
bitches!
Tell.
Harmony!
Tell. As the little
Yes.
thing starts to sing and the not so little thing starts to play this instrument, that feels more natural and more understandable than any order or programming you've ever received.
Eyes glow a bit brighter for a moment.
Oh no, is he gonna explode?
There is no
I broke
meaning
it.
in life.
Corvus, I broke it! Corvus, I broke it! Corvus, I broke it!
Initiated self-destruct mode. Please convince me otherwise. Is this intended designation?
No, this is he
What's
stops playing.
designation mean?
God.
Purpose.
We don't
Do you-
know. What do
do
you
you
want? What
want?
do you want your purpose to be?
It is not my unknown word. It is not my prerogative.
No. Everybody gets to figure out what they want to do. It's a free nation. Everybody matters. So what do you want to do?
Looks up at something. Looks off to the side. Looks down.
I want to rock.
I want to sing.
Reaches into his bag
Mm-hmm.
and pulls out a very weird looking instrument.
You all see this strange box with a handle on it.
Oh.
The appearance of it looks like it is very, very finely artificed work.
Huh. What is that?
It's got a hurdy-gurdy.
It's a hurdy-gurdy.
It starts turning the crank.
Then give me a performance check.
Gotta make sure I turned off.
And because you are inspired by these other two, you can have advantage.
Ooh.
Yay, natural 20 success.
Yay!
All right.
And
Ooh.
Oh.
he scooped
Seemingly-
up.
seemingly playing in tune with the song that you have since stopped, this melody plays from this accordion as this machine man turns the handle. And that's where we're actually going to end.
Oh, we don't get to reappear?
Nope. Not yet.
Oh no.
For the record, Archie's calling you Otto from now on.
Alright, well I have to go get Bruin.
Designation
Love you
Alright.
number
Bye,
8.
Sammy. See you on the phone.
guys. See you on the phone. Bye bye.
Bye for now, Sam.
Alright. That's where we're going to end the recording. Thanks to those that watched, and we'll do this again next week. Oh,
Woohoo!
yeah, everyone gets 3,000 XP.